If you can dream it, you can do it. In the all-new Ridgeline from Honda.
Time tonight here in Las Cruces. Have been a lot of wind throughout the state of New Mexico, dying down to what they're saying is 11 miles per hour about now, 82 degrees and very, very sunny. Danny, wind, I think it's tangible. I don't know that it's horrible, but it's certainly, I think, something that you got to consider.
You're absolutely right, and I think that it would affect New Mexico State more than the Lobos, since Lobos are more the option team. So if it becomes a factor, I think it will affect New Mexico State.
The keys to this game from Danny Nee, and it's Nee's keys.
Hey, so Nee's keys. Here's what I think needs to happen. We need to start fast. Got to get a quick score. You can't have another slow start like we did against UTEP where you had a surge in the second half. Not enough time for that. Let's continue with that confidence they had in the second half, though. Start fast, score quick. Jump start the run. Now, whether you jump start the run for the pass or you pay the pass to increase the run, you need two pieces of the offense to get going. Passing and running, you need them both. You can't be one-dimensional. The last one is reduce the explosive plays. Last week, 3 explosive plays ended up scoring. Got to have no mental breakdowns on this option. You got to make them earn every yard. Reduce missed tackles, too many missed tackles. Gang tackle, pursuit, grab cloth, do whatever you need to reduce the explosive plays.
On those things, Danny, the fast start is certainly something that did not happen for New Mexico State last week. They found themselves down 24-3 at halftime. The Lobos got off to a pretty good start. They scored on the first play of the game for them. So I think, you look at what happened last year. Up in Albuquerque, the Aggies had a lead at halftime. They were up double digits in the third quarter before it completely turned. That's when Tyler Rogers got hurt. New Mexico's going to run the ball. You know they're going to run the ball. You hit on explosive plays. We're going to talk about it throughout the day. New Mexico is as good as anybody in the nation as far as explosive plays, the quantity of them they can strike from anywhere on the field.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think that you said it in the open. It's like all of those things are important. There's Coach Davey right there who has a team that's really coming up, and it's spiking, and it's looking good, coming off a great season last year, moving into this season, big win last weekend. But all of that means nothing if you can't execute week in and week out, Jeff. So, yes, it's important, but the Aggies, they can make a stand.
Bob Davey, in his 5th year at New Mexico, took the Lobos to a bowl game last year. It was their first postseason appearance since 2007. And on the other side, Doug Martin in his 4th season at 7 wins and 30 losses at New Mexico State and trying to turn it around. And they feel like they're really, really close to the Aggies. And, obviously the injuries. We'll talk about the injuries. But they feel that that they're close to getting done what New Mexico has gotten done upstate and getting back to a bowl game. And, the Aggies bowl drought dates back to 1960, the Sun Bowl back in 1960 with Charlie Johnson at the helm. So,
yeah, Jeff, injuries, that's a big thing. Last year, we had Larry Rose when he came to UNM, and Larry Rose had a breakout game. Fantastic. Larry Rose is out this week. We'll talk more about that, and that will affect New Mexico State. But I think all in all, he has a group of guys that are really starting to move in the right direction. We're going to find out tonight.
Yeah, you saw number 3, Larry Rose, in a jersey but no pads and obviously not playing. He and the defensive number 3, Derek Ibikwe, the leading tackler from last year's team, both not playing, both ironically enough recovering from sports hernia issues, or odd injury, Danny, but one that they both have and are trying to recover from. Aggies are going to kick. It's going to be the Lobos who will go on offense first. And you talk about the slow starts, the keys to the game being fast starts. It's going to be up to the New Mexico defense early, or the New Mexico State defense early, to hold New Mexico's offense down. Terrion Gibson back to receive the kick from Parker Davidson. The sophomore from Plano, Texas, will put the boot to the ball and get this thing started, which with a decent crowd that's piling in. Still a lot of people out in that parking lot. Hope they're getting this game on Aggie Vision at least.
Yeah.
Parker Davidson into the wind, and that is Terrion Gibson, 9 yards deep and out of the end zone, and it will begin with a touchback, and the Lobos will start on offense. There's been a lot of talk about who will be the quarterback for New Mexico. Austin Apodaca went all the way last week for the Lobos, or at least all the way with the significant snaps. Apodaca will get the start again tonight, the senior. surprise you at all?
Not at all. I think he played a great game, and as you and I talked about, when you win and you do so well, you don't make huge swings and movements. You tweak what you have, and I think that's what with keeping Austin in there, they're just tweaking.
Tyrone Owens and Terrion Gibson will start in the formation behind Apodaca, who goes out of the pistol. You'll see a lot of motion out of New Mexico. They scored on the first play from scrimmage last week. They give it to Gibson again. They will not score on the first play this time. 3 yards into the line. Number of guys there to make the tackle. 3 yards, call it second down and 7. Dalton Harrington leading the charge defensively for New Mexico. Good week last week for Apodaca. 12 of 16 throwing the football, 2 touchdowns, 172 yards. He also ran the ball for 52 yards on 7 carries. You'll see them rotate a lot of different backs in there. They give it this time to Tyrone Owens. Owens is in the secondary for a first down out across the 40 to the 42 yards.
You know, there's a lot of different option movements that you see that's going on here for New Mexico, and you'll see that what they're doing is they have a little motion where everything looks like it's moving left and it's going to sweep left, but all of a sudden you give the ball and you're going to break to the right, and it catches the Aggies kind of leaning one direction, and I think that's going to be what the Aggies need to do is sit back a little bit and don't jump on everything that looks like it's going one way or the other. You got to be a little conservative at times.
One back now for Owens. In motion is Damian Gamblin. He motions into the backfield. Owens again up the middle. Pushes the pile. Gets out to about the 44-yard line. Give him 2 yards on the first down carry. It'll be second down and 8 for the Lobos.
Good penetration up there by New Mexico State, and that's going to be part of the key is that try to create some gaps in that if there's a younger group on the New Mexico's team, it's that offensive line. They have a very mature group, a lot of starters back, but it's the offensive line that could be an area that we'd want to see about trying to push into.
They got one of their senior leaders back, Garrett Adcock, who didn't play last week, is starting tonight at right tackle. Gibson motions into the backfield with Apodaca. Apodaca keeps it. He's loose across the 50. He's loose into Aggie territory and run out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Austin Apodaca on the keeper, run out of bounds there by Jaden Wright. Another first down for the Lobos. Danny, it's not just the backs now, and I know everybody calls Apodaca the passing quarterback. He's made really good reads and a lot better runner than I think people give him credit for.
Yeah, this option, it's like you and I talked about before, it's almost a 2-in-1 fast break like basketball. And you can see on this option, it's assignment. So everyone is assigned a player, and you've got to get to your guy. In this case, the linebacker or the safety couldn't get into the quarterback, and he kept it because he got pinned inside.
Gibson and Owens with him now in the backfield. He's back to throw for the first time. Has a lot of time, flips it out to the far side. It's complete to Cole Gauchi, the former quarterback turned tight and the first reception of the year for Gauchi. You might remember him. Aggie fans might, Lobo fans will, as the former quarterback from Cleveland High School, the senior who redshirted last year and is now a tight end. That's his first catch of the year. It's good for 8 yards. To the 22-yard line, second down and 2 for New Mexico. Good look at the senior from Cleveland, who originally committed to New Mexico State. Bob Davey came in, and that was his first recruit. It was a good Gauchi to decide to stay back up north. The give is to Owens. Cross for a first down. He'll gain himself about 4.
Tyrone Owens on the carry.
Cortland Busby's at the bottom of that pile, was the first guy to wrap him up, and New Mexico's doing what New Mexico does, and that's run the football pretty well.
They have, but no big explosive plays. They're making them earn everything like we need to do, and this is where they have to dig their heels in and just try to hold them out and have them go, just get a field goal at the very most and not give up that TD. Last week against UTEP, they were very successful when it got down in the red zone here. So let's see what the coach can draw up.
Richard McCorley is in for the first time today. He's the up back in the I formation behind Apodaca. We have a flag on the play and back him up 5 yards. McCorley had a big day last week in the win over South Dakota, scoring 2 touchdowns. Ooh. Rare that you see that to stop the play. To referee David Alvarez. So now it makes it first down and 5. You don't want to make it any easier for him.
Yeah, so penalties last week also hurt the Aggies when it gets down to these key situations.
All right, so McCorley stays in along with Gibson. It'll stay in an I formation behind the quarterback, Austin Apodaca. It's McCorley. Dalton Harrington busts through for the Aggies. Make a stop right about the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and 5.
And that's a nice play by Dalton, tackling downhill from that linebacker position. That's what they teach him. So you can see Dalton come in on that left side and just kind of scrape up and just wrap up and hang on. So that's what Coach was going to really concentrate on. Not as many missed tackles this week.
Calling it a tackle for a loss, back him up a yard. Second down and 6 for New Mexico. You get a first down at the 7-yard line. McCorley and Gibson, I formation behind Apodaca. That's Gibson, left side. Terrion Gibson scores a New Mexico touchdown. 13 yards for the score for Gibson. And the Lobos have a 6-0 lead. Third touchdown on the young season for Terrion Gibson.
You get back to the option, and this is just their key, and this is what the offense is all about. So New Mexico State's going to have to kind of look at who's assigned to what to try to get there, and they're going to get a large chunk of this today. So, just a great blocking scheme up front there, and we just couldn't break free from those blocks to make that tackle.
Jason Sanders on to kick the extra point for New Mexico. They get out to the early lead, scoring their first possession again. Kick is up, and the kick is good. The Lobos go 75 yards in 8 plays for the Gibson score. It took them a little over 4.5 minutes. Your key early was about the run. We talked about the run in the open, Danny. We talked about Terrion Gibson in the open, and that's the guy who got it done. Gibson scores from 13 yards out, and now it's going to be the Aggies who have to answer. I think a lot of people with the Aggies who think if they're going to win this game are going to look at drives like this that are coming up. You cannot have a lot of open possessions. You're going to have to score when you have the football, I think, because I think there's going to be a lot of points scored tonight.
Yeah, I think Coach Martin is going to be able to put points on the board, and I've said it before, and in fact, I was talking to one of my sons before the game. He said, hey, can they win? I said, yes, D is going to have to D up this game to really win, and these long drives are a start, but you got to start holding them out of the end zone and making them just take 3 instead of 7 in order for them to stay in this ball game.
Right, the wind is blowing from your right to left, south to north, as you look at the screen, and we're watching Sanders kick in warm-ups, and there was a lot of leg as he was kicking this way. So you would assume this thing would go through the end zone. Teron Taylor, Greg Hogan back to receive for the Aggies. Sanders puts this thing deep and through, and that's pretty much what you expected, especially with that win. So New Mexico State will come out for the first time. Tyler Rogers, the quarterback, the junior from Fairfield High School in Fairfield, Texas. Take a look at the impact players when the Aggies have the ball, Danny, and certainly Tyler Rogers is going to have to make some big decisions today, and it's on the receivers, right, to make some plays, because they didn't really make a lot of plays last week.
They did not. You're right. They had a lot of drop balls, and it's going to be on Tyler Rogers and Jaleel Scott. And Scott is a 6'6 receiver who had 5 catches last week, dropped a couple. He's going to have to step up. On the other side, Dakota Cox, he's everywhere, and they're always going to get pressure up front by Nick.
That's Xavier Hall who gets the first carry, 5 yards out to the 30-yard line. As you know, Larry Rose III, the leading rusher in the Sun Belt last year, the leading rusher returning for New Mexico State, not playing. And the question for the Aggies is who's going to run the ball. It was Hall on the first carry. Flag down. Lobos are moving backwards. I think they believe that they jumped. See what the man in the white hat has to say. Well, you know, the white baseball hat, not the white helmet. So they did jump.
They did jump, and Jeff, this is, I like this, and here's why. Because when you get to a team that's got a lot of blitzing, and to combat that blitz, you're going to have to come up with some of the ways to get them off their mark. So one way to do it is a long count. So you get a long count, and that'll make them jump if you use it right. So we should see that all night long.
Tyler's going to throw for the first time, steps up in the pocket, throws to the far side, and it is complete. It's going to be just enough for a first down, just across the 45-yard line.
Yeah, that's a nice first pass.
Jonathan Boone.
Yeah, nice first pass there. Jonathan Boone joining the Aggies this year. Another big, tall guy that's out there. And those big, tall receivers match up nicely against the smaller DBs from UNM.
First down for New Mexico State. They're going to go a lot quicker than maybe the Lobos will. Tyler's going to throw again. He does. It's complete to Hogan on the far side, across midfield and near a first down. Not quite enough.
I like the up-tempo. That really helped him a lot in UTEP. And Coach came out and said, hey, look, you know what? I'm going to throw the ball to open up the run. So here they are. Quick throws to open it up maybe and create a little running gap.
Nice. Martin on the defense for the Lobos. This is Rogers keeping, now flipping to the near side and drilled there. That is a big hit by I.B. Brown of the Lobos, the senior from San Antonio, Texas. O.J. Clark on the reception, and he held on, lost a couple of yards. In fact, lost 3 on the receptions. It's going to make it 3rd down and 5 for the Aggies who need the 45-yard line. Well, that's a hit.
Yeah, it was a big hit, and it's the blocking out on the edge that you really need that play to execute. O.J. Clark, he did get pop losses there right there. Hopefully he'll get back into this thing, but it's the blocking on the edge. It's got to make that play work.
They're holding up play. Sure. Oh, they got a clock issue. Okay, it's the play clock that they're holding up play for. Not that the Aggies are going to use that thing very much. They got that thing set at 25 and we're ready to go. Rogers on 3rd down and 5. He's changing the play. Drops straight back. Flushed. Trying to get it with his feet, and it's going to depend on the mark. He's going to be about 1.5 yards short. Needed to cross the 45, did not get to the 45. 4th down and about 1.5 yards to go. What does Doug Martin do?
Here he goes.
He goes for it.
Or long count.
Xavier Hall's the back. Hall gets it. Hall.
Oh.
No, he doesn't. That's Tyler Rogers.
Hey, how about
how
about that ride? Did you see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I bit. I absolutely bit.
That's what I'm talking about. I know you saw at the end of it, but I bit as well. I was like, oh, it's going to be close. Oh, he kept it. Look how he rides this all the way in there.
Cameron
and
bit
really,
too.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Tyler Rogers on the 1st down. That's a heck of, you're right, a heck of a fake, and pulled it at exactly the last second. King Burke is in at running back for the Aggies. Rogers going to throw. Throwing to the near side. It is complete. That is Hogan. Dropped there by I.B. Brown, but not before he gets a 1st down to the 25-yard line. Gain of 12 in a New Mexico State 1st down.
So you see a lot of rolling out. You saw that last week against UTEP where it was a bootleg and he'd roll out. In this case, it was kind of a little bootleg out there. Rolls one way, throws all the way across the field to make that completion.
Burke is the running back. 2 receivers each side for Tyler Rogers. Saw motion on the far side, wanted encroachment on Lee Crosby, but Crosby got back. Play clock's at 7. Tyler gets it off. Pump fakes, throwing to the end zone. Looking, and it's incomplete. Looking out there for Hogan. Good defense by New Mexico.
It's a nice miss.
Ryan Santos.
That's a nice miss, and here's what we mean by that. Because in past years, we remember Tyler Rogers a few years ago would have tried to force that right in there where he's covered pretty good. In this case, if you're going to miss, you're going to miss wide and let it go out of bounds. He was covered well, so he put it out there where it wasn't going to be intercepted.
The safety, Santos, did not bite on the pump fake, and now the Aggies have 2nd down and 10. Tyler's going to throw again. Time over the middle. It is behind his intended receiver, and it is incomplete. Looking there for Caldwell, and he threw it behind Royce.
He did. You know, last week we saw quite a few drops by the receivers, and I had a chance to talk to Coach Corey Martin. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But some of these, even though it's behind Jeff, those receivers have to come down with that ball.
3rd down and 10 again. Burke stays in as the lone setback with Rogers. They give it to King for the 1st time, and he gets met by half of the New Mexico defense, and a heck of a charge there. Austin Ocasio was in on it. Now what do you do here? It's 27, 37, 40-something yards into the win. They're going to go for the field goal. It's going to be about a 44-yard field goal attempt for Parker Davidson. Davidson 1 for 1 last week on field goals. Did miss an extra point. This one's going to be from 44 yards to try to get the Aggies on the board. As the drive stalls, kick's got plenty of leg. The kick is good. So the Aggies are on the board with a 44-yard field goal. Aggies answer the touchdown with a field goal. We've got 5 minutes and 51 seconds to go, first quarter in Las Cruces. The Lobos scored a touchdown. The Aggies scored a field goal. It's 7-3 New Mexico over New Mexico State on Aggie Vision. Fairly well. You've seen them 106 times in the past. It's the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque. 28,900 students from the Mountain West Conference. There's a few alum you might know on there, huh? Gary Johnson running for president. Michael Cooper played for those championship Laker teams. President Frank, president up there. That's the foe. And the foe has a 7-3 lead. Aggies kicked a 44-yard field goal. 11 plays, 4 minutes and 34 seconds to go, 48 yards for them. Parker Davidson will kick off. Terrion Gibson back for New Mexico to receive. Danny talked about quick starts, and I think it's pretty important as when we talk about New Mexico State not having empty possessions. That's not an empty possession. You got 3. Pretty big defensive possession now, I think, for the Aggies, right?
No doubt about it. And I think getting 3, even though we were looking for 7, yes, but as long as you don't come out with a big goose egg, I think putting points on the board early on is important.
Gibson about 3 yards deep and opts to take it out. Terrion across the 20. Barely across the 20, and that's where he will start. So the Lobos have the football. When they do, they got a lot of weapons, Danny. The impact players for them, there's a lot of them. Quarterback Austin Apodaca certainly one of them.
There is a lot of them. Austin Apodaca had a big game last week. He went 12 for 16, throwing 2 TDs, added 52 yards on the ground. Richard McCorley, we talked about Gibson in the open, but they got several backs that can do it. McCorley scores 2 TDs last week, and the guys set up to try to take them down. Terrell Hanks, big last year game against UNM. He needs to step it up. Jacob Wonga, we could use a turnover from him in the safety position today.
Owens is the setback behind Austin Apodaca. Now a motion, another one in Gamblin. It's Owens up the middle. He'll get out about 4 yards with Rodney Butler riding him on the back. Call it 4 yards to the 24. Second down and 6. They spread it around last possession pretty well. Danny, on their touchdown possession, Apodaca actually their leading rusher with 26 yards on that carry. Owens had 22 and Gibson had 14, but he's the one who cashed the check for the touchdown, his 3rd of the year.
Yeah, certainly wasn't one-dimensional, was it?
Now, they just aren't. There's so many of them, and they're really, really good at it. Apodaca flips the near side to Gibson. Another way to get the explosive Terrion Gibson the ball. Pushed out of bounds by Dalton Harrington, but not before he gets to the 35-yard line and a New Mexico first down.
Now, again, these plays, these quick screen throw plays are important that you get the outside wide out blocking. In this case, there was a good block out there, and you have to have someone come over top to help. Jaden Wright's coming over from safety to push him out of bounds.
First down, New Mexico. So far, they've moved it at will. Owens stays in. He's the back behind Apodaca. Austin 2 for 2 throwing the football today. Owens gets it up the middle. Dalton Harrington brings him down from low. Up top, it was Terrell Hanks. A 9-yard gain right up the middle of that New Mexico State defense.
Yeah, so I see Coach trying to bring a corner down on that, trying to create some pressure. So now Coach Spaziani is going to start calling up and dialing up different ways that you can create a obstacle in the backfield before they get out there and start running that option. So the best and the fastest way to break up an option is to just explode it right in the backfield, and that's where I think he's trying to get to.
Owens and Damian Gamblin are the setbacks now behind Austin Apodaca in an I formation. Second down and 1 for the Lobos. Owens again right up the middle, probably got enough. A bunch of guys there, Reese and Hanks and Butler. But they're going to mark him at the 45-yard line, a gain of 2 and a first down for the Lobos.
You know, this is a pretty fast-paced game, Jeff, on both sides. So the tempo is up, and it's just a cat-and-mouse type thing. In this offense, you got to figure out a way to get penetration. You know, the offensive line for New Mexico, we talked about, maybe the little younger. Well, they're holding out pretty good right now, so I think you got to start looking for more pressure ways where you can come off on twists and other things to get in the backfield, to get to them.
Richard McCorley, Daryl Chestnut, just bringing a couple other guys who can carry the ball. That's what they did this time. Apodaca to throw. Wide open and through the hands of his tight end, Michael Walsh from La Cueva High School. Yep. Incomplete. That's the first incomplete for Apodaca. It'll stop the clock. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Michael Walsh. He's a good guy. La Cueva program over there with Coach Back. That's a good group out there, and that's too bad for Michael. Hit him hard. Last week, Michael took a shot on a little out or a little quick pass last week, and so he's doing quite well, though, in there blocking.
2nd down, 10. Lobos at the 45-yard line. Just under 3.5 minutes to go. First quarter, McCorley's the setback with Apodaca. Austin to throw again, and it is knocked down by Noah Brown. And the Aggies say it went backwards. It was pretty close, wasn't it? Noah Brown from Valencia High School in there.
It was close, but they quickly waved it away. But you can see the pressure now. We talked about trying to dial up a little more pressure, and you can see the pressure coming in from both sides right now. So you see it coming in from your left and from your right. That's just a big sky to bat that thing down there. Noah, good job.
3rd down, 10 for New Mexico. They need the New Mexico State 45 to get a 1st down. McCorley is the setback. 3 receivers to the right, 1 left for Austin Apodaca. Drops back with time, throws, and it is caught, and he is hit. The catch is made by Damian Gamblin. It's going to be enough for a 1st down for the Lobos.
Yeah, that's a nice pitch and catch right there. Gamblin hand onto the ball, and he got popped pretty good by Jaden Wright. Jaden Wright can put the leather to you, and he came flying in there. He's just a little bit late. Lots of pressure, good push, but just not enough. Apodaca stands in the pocket with enough to get it out. Got a penalty.
Flag was on New Mexico State, so it's going to add more to it. Danny, this is a key, and I know it wasn't in the keys, but this is a key. New Mexico State has got to get off the field on 3rd down and long. It killed them last week against UTEP. 3rd and 22s were converted. Well, not many. There was a 3rd and 22, 3rd and 18. This was a 3rd and 10. It's been a big stickler for Coach Spaziani and this defensive staff.
No doubt about it, and part of the keys was explosive plays. That was an explosive play. Last week, the same thing happened where you had 3rd and long, and they're completing these 3rd and longs, and those are the ones that really hurt.
Daquan Woodhouse is in the backfield along with Gibson now with Apodaca split backs. Apodaca keeps it. He's across the 20. Austin Apodaca makes a move. Austin Apodaca has scored a New Mexico touchdown. 23 yards on the run by Apodaca. His first rushing touchdown of the year. And the Lobos have a 13-7 lead.
Here comes the option right there, and right before, as this play just started, you saw Dalton Harrington come screaming in there, and he jumped the run. And as soon as he jumped the run, Austin pulled the ball back and took it around the end there, and no one was left because that was the guy that was assigned to Austin, was Dalton Harrington.
You know, we talk about the option, and I asked Bob Davey this earlier this week. I said, you know, I don't break down the tape like you do, but when you guys, it looked like Apodaca is making the right decisions on the option. He said, absolutely. And that's why he's the starter right now, or part of the reason why. And a heck of a read right there. 27 yards on the run, Austin Apodaca for the touchdown for New Mexico. Taking around the right side. We got 2:40 to go. First quarter, Lobos lead the Aggies by a score of 14-3. 14-3, 2:40 to go. First quarter. Tonight's game's being brought to you by Wells Fargo. Hey, Aggie fans, do more with your Aggie ID card. Link it to Wells Fargo everyday checking account for optional one-card banking convenience. Speak to a Wells Fargo banker at 2505 El Paseo Road or any nearby Wells Fargo retail banking store to find out more. They say, go Aggies. Aggies got some going to do, Danny Nee. Jeff Sabieta along with Danny Nee. It is our first broadcast of the year football-wise here on Aggie Vision. Aggies find themselves down 14-3 and facing a pretty big possession as the Lobos have moved up and down the field pretty well so far.
Yeah, they've had no trouble, right? There's only been one long 3rd down that's been any kind of an issue, and he couldn't stop them. So the Aggies got to keep the score close. They're just not enough of a big enough explosion team on offense to really let it get out of their hands. So they need to put points on the board on this possession And Coach Bazziani's got to draw up something down there with that defensive guys to get back to assignment defense to stop that option, which is very, very tough.
135 yards total offense for the Lobos already, 100 of them on the ground. And their leading rusher is their quarterback, Austin Apodaca, the guy who people like to say is the passing quarterback. Well, that passing quarterback's running the ball pretty well. It'll be a touchback, and the Aggies will have the ball when we come back. 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go. We're in the first quarter of the rivalry of enchantment here in Las Cruces. The Lobos lead the Aggies 14-3. Glad you're with us tonight here on Aggie Vision.
Monday Night Football, Steelers, Redskins at 6:55 and Rams 49ers at 10:15. Monday night on ESPN.
Fantasy football ends here, but it started on the ESPN Fantasy app. It ends with this look on Tad's face, but it started on this app. It ends with the circle beard of shame, but it started on this app. And every once in a while it ends like this, but even then it started on this app. The new ESPN Fantasy app makes it easy to create, manage, and win your league. Download the ESPN Fantasy app and start your league today.
Here we go. It's a new season.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Moss.
The seventh meeting of the Lobos and the Aggies. New Mexico leads New Mexico State 14-3. Aggies taking the ball, and their quarterback Tyler Rogers looking to etch his name in the record books. It's already there. You look at the numbers: 8th all-time in completions, ranks 10th all-time in passing touchdowns. Put up some pretty big numbers for a guy who missed half of last season, Danny, with that thumb injury, and it's a pretty big drive that he's facing now. Yeah,
and Tyler faced some adversity early on in this season, but he's come through that too, and he's doing quite well. And he's got to marshal those guys, and he's got to get more points on the board here. It's going to be resting on his shoulders. If the defense can't hold, he has to keep volley.
Xavier Hall is the setback off to the right hip of Tyler Rogers, the quarterback, 5'11", the junior out of Fairfield, Texas. Won the job. It was pretty good competition. Lots of people talking about the competition. Tyler won it. He keeps it, rolls to the near side. Now he's pressured, finds time. He's being pursued from behind. Tyler's across the 40. Tyler's across the 42-yard line, about the 40. As if to say there's more than one quarterback in this building who can get out of the pocket and run a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you remember last year in Albuquerque where Tyler broke one of those free, and so we're going to take another look at that where there was no one open. Everyone good coverage downfield, and he just keeps it and scoots down the line. Last year when he got hurt, same thing happened, and instead of running out of bounds, you remember he ducked his head and tried to run over someone, and that's when he got hurt. So
16
getting
yards.
Smarter.
16 yards on that, out to the 41 and a first down for New Mexico State. They trail 14-3. Flips it to the near side. It's O.J. Clark. Clark wrestled out of bounds at about the 42-yard line by Ryan Santos. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play, and it'll be second down and 9.
In order for those plays to get anywhere, you got to get a big push from those, and we talk about it all the time. The wideouts out there that got to get one. Isaiah Lodi was outside there getting his block, but it wasn't enough just to tie him. You got to gain yardage and get him out of the way.
Xavier Hall's the setback, the senior from Las Cruces. Second down and 9 would seem like a throwing down for New Mexico State. Lobos with a lot of motion up front. Donnie White off the near side. Tyler keeps it, spins away from one, but not from the next. He's dragged down right at about the line of scrimmage. Garrett Hughes was there for New Mexico.
Yeah, nothing happening on that play at all.
Lee Crosby also there.
Yeah, lots of Lobos being patient and just watching that play kind of evolve, and just nothing there.
Big play for New Mexico State right now. I know it's early, but it's third down and 9. You trail 14-3, and you showed no signs of stopping your opponent. Rogers, play action. Comes the near side, complete to Hogan. Enough for a first down to the 44-yard line of the Lobos. And a first down for the Aggies. Lee Crosby on the tackle for the Lobos.
Yeah, that's a nice grab by Hogan on that. We had two receivers out there, and there was one that was going long, and I think it was a wheel route that was coming out of the backfield, and you'll see it on the right side. You can't see it on the screen, but that one allowed this play to happen because it opened them up, and they had to go guard that guy.
Rodgers with the handoff to Caldwell. The little man gets himself about 7 yards. And when I tell you, last year I remember going out there, he's listed at 5'8", 172 pounds. And I remember looking at him and saying, is he really 5'8", $172? I know he's fast as lightning, and they say he might be the fastest guy out there. But he doesn't look 5'8", 172, does he?
No, not at all. But you know what? He took whatever weight he is, and he did quite well against UTEP, and he's got to get going here tonight.
Rodgers keeps it, goes right up the middle. He's going to be about a yard, maybe a yard and a half short of the first down. Got out to the 35-yard line where it'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Aggies.
Yeah, I like it. It's 3-4 yards in a cloud of dust, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not the power stuff, but you're coming back with the option, and you're just going to go little by little by little. It sure makes those 3rd and shorts a lot easier.
Crosby on the tackle for the Lobos. We've called his name quite a bit. We got a timeout on the field. Is it an injury timeout? Either way, we're going to have a timeout on the field. So we'll come back to that's the end of the quarter. Really? There's a big giant clock up there that says 0. I got so into the game, right?
Yeah.
There's a big giant clock that says 0, 0, 0. So we played a quarter here in Las Cruces. Aggies will have 3rd down and 1 when we come back. They're trailing the Lobos 14-3.
And here, fantasy.
Start the second quarter of the rivalry of champ at the 107th meeting between the Lobos and the Aggies. New Mexico on top of New Mexico State by a score of 14-3. The Aggies are facing a big 3rd down and 1 to try to keep the drive alive as they set up shop at about the 35-yard line. It's a pretty good crowd on hand tonight. It's turned into a beautiful little evening, huh?
Yeah, it kind of filled in too.
Jason Huntley in the backfield for the first time for New Mexico State. Right as we start the second quarter, Danny, I was surprised we didn't see him in the first quarter at all. Hasn't carried the ball yet. Rodgers on the keeper. He's going to get the first down. Rodgers gets a little bit more, crosses the 25-yard line. Kimmy Carson drags him down for the Lobos, but a gain of about 12 yards and a first down for Tyler Rodgers. How about this?
Yeah.
If I'd have told you in the second quarter both teams' leading rushers would both be their quarterbacks, would you believe me?
No, not so much, and I see them both running the option, and so that I could see where the Lobos would have that, but not from New Mexico State.
Rodgers 57 yards rushing. He flips it to the near side. It is complete. A short gain there for O.J. Clark. Give him about a yard, maybe, and it'll be 2nd down 9 for New Mexico State. So Rodgers has got 57 yards rushing. Apodaca is got 49. Both leading their teams, both quarterbacks leading their teams as we scratch the surface on the second quarter. King Burke is now in the backfield for New Mexico State. Tyler's going to throw, flush out of the pocket. Now he's in trouble, trying to buy time, rolling to the right. Tyler's looking for somebody, and he throws into trouble, and it's incomplete.
I saw a pick all day long on that.
Yeah.
How about you? Did you see that nice coverage in there?
Nice mark.
I get what Tyler's trying to do there and keeping that alive, but that was good coverage there. And so if he was going to miss that, he needed to miss it a little bit more, and because that was very close to being a pick right down there.
One of the things the Aggies took out of last week's game offensively is that they did not turn the ball over. They had no offensive penalties and did not turn the ball over. And if Doug Martin was looking for some positives with the drops that he had offensively, it was that. 3rd down and 9. Rodgers and the Aggies need the 13-yard line for a first down. Burke is the back off the left hip of Tyler Rodgers, who gets it off with 1 on the play clock. Tyler this time with time, flips it to the far side and is incomplete. Martin again defending out there. Defending on Jonathan Boone, and it'll be 4th down and 9, and here comes the field goal unit again.
Yeah, that's just good coverage right there. So good protection up front, and it kind of looks like Tyler gets a little happy feet in there. You see him jumping around a little bit more than I thought. It'd be a little more relaxed, but he was trying to find someone quickly, and there was nothing open. Boone was the guy he was trying to get to, but he had good coverage, and so nothing there.
So this will be a 40-yard field goal attempt for Davidson, who hit from 44 in the first quarter. Plenty of leg with the wind behind him this time, and it also is good. Officially, I believe it'll be 40. It was just outside between the 40 and the 41. So a 40-yard field goal for Parker Davidson. I think, first of all, Danny, if you're looking for a bright side for Aggie fans, Parker Davidson looks good after being, missing the extra point last week. 2 drives, 2 field goals for New Mexico State. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for New Mexico. I think, that trend continues. It's going to be a long night for the guys in the Crimson.
Yeah, I think you're right. So you can start trading points with them, but you can't do that every single time where you get down there and pull up and just kick field goal, which is good because you're getting points, but that spread gets a little bigger and it gets a little harder. You get a little more pressure. You're trying to do a little bit more. And you saw Coach Martin there right after that kick and was really talking to Tyler about that, and it kind of looked like he was telling him, just relax in there and quit trying to force that thing into something.
David Alvarez might have a background in equipment or something as he fixing a little equipment there. 11 plays, 52 yards. It took 3:45 for the Aggies to get that 40-yard field goal from Parker Davidson. So it is now 14-6. The Lobos, and they've got an exciting kickoff returner. Terrion Gibson, I gotta believe Parker's going to try to kick this thing through the end zone, especially with the wind. And that's what he does. And so the Lobos will set up shop at the 25-yard line. It's so far so good for the New Mexico offense. They've been able to run the football and run it very, very efficiently. Austin Apodaca has carried the ball for 49 yards on just 2 carries. The leading rusher for them, Tyrone Owens, 6 carries for 37, and Gibson 2 for 14. Gibson scored a touchdown, as did Apodaca. So, pretty big. I know I'm saying it every time, but it feels every time that the defense for New Mexico State goes out there, it's a pretty significant series for them.
Yeah, you got to D up. There's no doubt about it. And what you do is the hard part, right? So what do? You go back to assignment.
Gibson, left side, and he is smothered by Dalton Harrington just behind the line of scrimmage. Lose about a ½ yard. Harrington's been very, very active so far.
Yeah, Dalton's been in on a lot of tackles tonight. He had one that kind of got past that he bid on an option, but other than that, he's been very good in there making lots of tackles.
So a loss of about they're calling it officially a yard. 2nd down and 11 for New Mexico. Gauchi goes out. There's Terrion Gibson. You see the back of the Lobo helmet. You'll see the silhouette of a player, and that was Markel Bird, and I thought it was a really nice move by New Mexico State to honor Markel, who was killed in a car accident just after the bowl game last season, defensive back for New Mexico. It's Gibson again with very little place to go. He'll maybe gain a yard. Shamad Lomax on the tackle for New Mexico State. Give him 2 across the 25 to the 26-yard line. And there's a flag.
And a flag back there. Yeah.
Roughing the passer on New Mexico State, 15-yard penalty, and it's going to be a 1st down. Take a look at it again.
Saw it at the end here. Let's see if he gets rid of the ball and he continues. So, okay, so
Cortland Busby.
He did. Cortland Busby gave him a little push after, and it was just a little push, but
it's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
Penalty and a 1st down, and it gets New Mexico across the 41. So instead of facing 3rd down and 9, they get a fresh set of downs at the 41-yard line, and they keep moving. Owens is the setback now behind Austin Apodaca. He gives it to Owens, who busts up the middle, runs over a couple guys, and gets himself about 7 yards. Dalton Harrington again on the bottom of that pile. Rodney Butler helping out on the tackle. 7 yards, call it 6 to the 47-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
That first option, that first give on that option, that run is the first thing you have to shut down. So you really got to jump in there and put your nose down and do not give them that little push on that dive before that option gets rolling.
2nd and 4, Gibson checks back in. He'll be the back man in the I formation with Owens behind Austin Apodaca. Apodaca to throw, near side, complete to Patrick Reed. Reed out of bounds immediately, and it'll be a 1st down for New Mexico. Quick drop, he got it out quickly. And a pretty good throw. Jerry Burton defending for New Mexico State. So another 1st down for the Lobos. They are at the 36-yard line, moving again with a 14-3 lead.
That's a quick pass in there. How fast he got that ball out of there makes it very tough on Burton over there.
Daryl Chestnut now in behind Owens. He's the tailback wearing number 20. Tight out formations. They motion Owens off. Chestnut gets the handoff. Chestnut makes a move and gets about 3-4 yards before he is corralled there by Shamad Lomax. Lomax, a freshman, another Texas kid. There's a lot of them on New Mexico State out of Copper's Grove.
Yeah, Lomax had 5 tackles last week, so didn't see him on the depth chart, but sure came in there and is starting to go to him a little bit more, and maybe because he can come up so fast and make some of those tackles.
Tell you what, and I got to believe Frank Spaziani is going to find anybody who wants to make a play out there. Yep. Anybody who's going to make a play and do something is going to go out there and earn playing time. Chestnut remains the running back on 2nd down and 6. Flip the near side, gambling. It goes absolutely nowhere. Terrell Hanks is there. Lomax was the first guy. Hanks finished him off. It's a loss of 2, maybe 3, and it's going to be 3rd down and 9.
So this play's been successful for UNM. In this case, they missed the block right there in that first block.
Patrick
the guy
Reed.
was, he was in there, and that makes it tough. So, Terrell Hanks.
All right, so the Lobos need the 26-yard line, 3rd down and 9. And here's another one of those 3rd down and longs, Danny, we talked about for the Aggies to get off the field. McQuarley's the back. See if they bring pressure. Apodaca to throw. He has time. Now he's being chased. And has to throw it away. It was Jasavia Reese, the sophomore, number 8, who was applying the pressure. Let's see what Bob Davey does here. I don't think it's an automatic that he's going to kick this thing.
Yeah, I don't either.
He's bringing out a kicking team.
Hey, that was good. That was good defense on the Aggie part right there. So that's a 3rd and long. That's the first one. We had a great push in that defensive line. So the defensive line was way in the backfield there. Great coverage downfield. Nothing Apodaca could do with the ball, so he had to throw it away. That's a great stop for the Aggies.
Corey Bajorquez comes out to punt. Is this a place you would look for a fake punt? You're up 14-6. Nope, Bajorquez, the left footer, is going to put it up in the air. It's going to bounce around near the end zone and in the end zone. It'll be a touchback for New Mexico State. So the Aggies get their stop, they get off the field. Now they're going to get a chance to take it down the field and try and put it in the end zone. We got 10 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the second quarter. New Mexico leads New Mexico State 14-6 on Aggie Vision. Aggies have a chance now to try to make this thing a little tighter as they take over at the 20-yard line after the touchback. And you may say, why the touchback at the 20 now and the 25 earlier? It goes to the 25 on kickoffs, but the 20 after punts.
Hey, that was a nice stop on the nice series by defense. It
was
transition to offense, but that was a good job by the Aggie defense.
Yeah, I thought it was huge for them, Danny. After in the first half last week at UTEP, the Aggies, the Miners were 7 of 10 in 3rd down conversions, meaning the Aggies were giving up 70%, and it's just, you're not going to win games that way. Tyler drops straight back, has time, and he's going to air it out, looking deep. Got a man deep, and he overthrew him. He was looking for Jonathan Boone. Good defense out there by New Mexico, and once again, it was Nias Martin who's having a pretty good night.
Yeah, Nias has been on good coverage. I think I would have picked on someone else over there, but I think Coach Martin did want to kind of air it out a few times and help spread him out and say, look, we can throw the ball deep, and so that's one of those times right there.
They flip it quick, the far side. About 8 yards on the reception. That's Isaiah Lottie, and that's his first catch of the season.
That's nice. I liked it because he took the ball, and as soon as he got it, he broke upfield and tried to get as many positive yards as possible and didn't get back there dancing in there. So that's a great job because it brings up now a 3rd and manageable 3rd down.
Lottie, a redshirt freshman from Denver. That was his first catch. He now winds up in the backfield with Tyler Rogers. We got a stoppage. Something with the football. Tyler pointed to the man in stripes, and he said, "Oh, it's their football. Why aren't we playing with our football?" It was a Lobo football. It didn't feel right in his hands. He pointed out he wanted one of his footballs, and he certainly has that right, doesn't he?
Maybe didn't have enough air in it.
Yeah, look at those guys. They think it's pretty funny. 3rd down and 3. Better check that one, huh? Give us to Xavier Hall. Hall bangs his way for New Mexico State 1st down. He got about 6 and a 1st down for the Aggies. The senior from here in Las Cruces.
Yeah, that's tough right there. Isaiah Hall's been really helping out whenever possible. Xavier Hall, excuse me. And he pours that thing in there. See, nice blocking up front. We're going to talk about Coach Richmond's offensive lineman that did a great job in there, but that's a nice haul for Xavier Hall.
1st down for New Mexico State. Rogers drops straight back. Time now flushed, rolling to the right and dropped. Dropped there by big number 95, Garrett Hughes, the junior from California. The first sack of the day for the Lobos. It's a loss of about 7 back to the 27-yard line.
I think that's the first sack of the year, and if you look around as he was trying to get the ball out, he had 3 guys in pass patterns out downfield, all covered, nothing he could do with it.
First sack of the year allowed by New Mexico State, sets up 2nd down and long. Xavier Hall stays in for New Mexico State. Now let's see what the Lobos dial up here defensively. Kevin Cosgrove decides he wants to send a little bit more pressure. Tyler looked like his first 2 options are gone. There's a flag on the play. There's 2 flags on the play, and there's another sack. Let's see where this thing goes. Again, Garrett Hughes is there, along with Donnie White for the Lobos. Now let's see what those yellow flags are about. Probably going to be holding, right?
Yeah, I think it's in the holding area.
That's one of those where you say, now we're good. We'll take the loss of another 7 yards and make it 3rd down on a long one.
So as they talk about it, I'm not sure where Tyler was going to go with that ball.
Yeah, well, it looked like he was going to the near side. He had a guy in the slot. They say 66, is that what they said? Was it Hagan? 62 was the call. So now it's going to be 3rd down and 24 for New Mexico State. You got one of those plays? Pretty good stand by New Mexico's defense, huh? Got it Tyler twice. He hadn't been sacked all year, and they sacked him on the last 2 plays. Xavier Hall finds a hole on the left side, gets into the secondary where Dakota Cox brings him down. Daniel Henry was there to finish it up, but not nearly enough for a 1st down. The Aggies are going to have to punt.
Yeah, I think from UNM standpoint, they backed up. There was like 3rd and forever, and it's like, fine, you know what? You can just take as many yards as you want. You're not going to get the 1st down. They did. Nice run, but nothing happening on the 1st down.
So the Aggies are going to have to kick. Peyton Thiesler is on to kick it away for them. Chris Davis Jr. will go back to receive for New Mexico, standing at about his own 15-yard line. Thiesler had a really good first game, ends up after the first week 4th in the nation in average punts at 48.3, and with the wind behind him, it's not going to hurt him at all. All the way back to the 9-yard line is where Brown goes. Gets himself out to about the 16, maybe 17-yard line. That's where New Mexico will set up shop for their next possession. When we come back, Lobos have the ball, and they have a lead. They lead the Aggies by a score of 14-6. It's the 107th meeting of the Lobos and Aggies, and you're watching us right here on Aggie Vision. Nation took place in the South Diamond Creek Pueblo in the Gila Wilderness. You can get a whole lot more information on that. Visit anthropology.nmsu.edu. Welcome back to Aggie Memorial Stadium. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go. We are in the 2nd quarter. New Mexico leads New Mexico State 14-6. Well, Danny, it was a big year for the Lobos last year. They hadn't been to a bowl game since 2007. They went to the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl and had a pretty good outing against the Arizona Wildcats. In fact, had the ball driving to tie that game up in the last minute of play. They played 12 bowls since 1892. They're 3-8-1 in all-time bowl games with 45-37. They had a heck of a crowd. It was a heck of a day up in Albuquerque last December for that game.
Yeah, you put on a great show there. That was
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah. That's nice. The 10th annual Gildan, New Mexico Bowl, and Arizona for the 2nd time walked away with that beautiful clay pottery as the trophy, and Rich Rodriguez and the Wildcats put on another great show, and we'll do it again this year on December 17th up there. Lobos come out with Richard McCorley, and look at this. Apodaca still a quarterback, but he's under center for the first time tonight. Gives it to McCorley, and he gets about 2 yards. Rodney Butler, the ball's loose.
Oh,
that ball is loose. Dalton Harrington's come out with it.
I didn't even see it. I thought
the referee is playing, waving it dead. They're going to talk. Dalton Harrington came out of there, and it's New Mexico State football.
Spaziani, Coach Spaziani, and Coach Sukup are just completely excited on the sidelines there. Let's see where we can see it pop out.
Yeah, you see it there.
He ripped it.
I don't know if he was down, though. You see it was going down. I don't know how they're going to look at that and find if his knee was down. Now,
he looked like he was on top of a pile, though, right? So he may not have been down.
It could be, yeah. They're going to look at it. The ruling on the field will be a fumble. So there's got to be enough to go overturn it. Let's take a look. Under center.
And that was that Dalton Harrington?
Yeah, it was Harrington. Now here it is. I don't know. Is his knee down? Or is he on top of a player? I don't think his knee's down. He's on top of a player when Harrington ripped it out.
Yeah, that's a good job right there by Dalton Harrington.
He's laying on top of Cole Gauchi.
He's pulling that thing. It's like, yeah, no, he's not down. He's pushing forward. So as long as he is, I'm going to rip the ball out. And guys, did a great job.
Can we look at that again? If you've got it, it looked like the pile was there. Cole Gauchi is the guy underneath Richard McCorley. I don't know if this is the angle that's going to show you, but you see Harrington on top. Left hand rips it out. Number 31 comes out with it. Now, he's down there, okay? Dalton Harrington's down right there where his knee goes down. The question is going to be, and I think we get a better look at it from that other angle, is was number 3 in white down, or was he laying on top of a player? And that's what the officials are looking at right now. Now, if the play stands, New Mexico State's going to have the ball first down at the 19-yard line, trailing 14-6.
You know, we talked about turnovers and trying to create some, and I thought maybe we'd get a pick or something when they start throwing the ball. Didn't think about trying to strip it, but Dalton Harrington that you see right there stripped it and got it. This will be the first turnover of the game.
Yeah, you're looking at the man on top, right under number 31, and it looks like his knee's not down. He's laying on Cole Gauchi, and I don't believe his knee's down.
I don't either.
Before that ball came out.
I don't either.
The ruling has been confirmed, and the Aggies will have the football.
There you go. So now the important thing is you got the turnover. Now, Jeff, you have to put something on the ball. You can't be complacent and say, let's get 3. The 3's okay. No, you got to push it in here.
All right, you take a shot right away, Danny. You haven't been running the ball well, or do you try to establish something on the ground, or you run that option that's been pretty good with Tyler?
Well, I think you got the option that's done quite well. Of course, this is going to be a little harder in the red zone, so they're going to dial up more pressure. A quick pass that Tyler's been very efficient at tonight, too.
First down for the Aggies. Tyler's going to throw. Has time. Throws near side and overthrew his receiver. He had him open and just missed him.
That's O.J. Clark out there on the reception. It's easier when you're here saying, oh, he missed that pass because that was 6. The problem is that he's in the pocket that's collapsing. They're giving him time, but that play took forever. Didn't it feel like it was forever? It just kept going.
It was a long route.
It's got to be quicker, yeah.
Huntley is in with Burke now in the backfield. That's Huntley 14 in motion out of the backfield. Throw the near side, and he overthrows Hogan. Looking for Greg Hogan on the near side on the quick slant, and he overthrows the 6'1" junior. Now it's 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, so that one's on Tyler all day long right there. So that's just a quick hitch. He's got to get the ball to him in open space to go make a play, and he just overthrew him.
I.B. Brown defending for New Mexico. Huntley the lone setback now. They need the 9-yard line, does New Mexico State, to get the first down.
Here comes the pressure. So certainly they're going to not let him sit back in there and kind of pick him apart.
3 receivers left. Straight drop, 3-man rush for New Mexico. They go over the middle, and it's incomplete. Another nice play by Nias Martin defending on Greg Hogan. It's going to be 4th down and 10 for the Aggies.
I don't know what to say, Jeff. That's just a great play all the way around there. So lots of time. So they decided not to pressure, and he had 3. So he had lots of time because there wasn't a big rush up front. He had time to set his feet and make a good pass. That was a good pass. That's just a great play right there by Nias, just going over top. Martin to knock that ball away.
This will be a 36-yard attempt for Parker Davidson, who's 2 for 2 on the day. He's hit from 44. He's hit from 40. This one from 36 yards with the wind at his back to try to make it a 14-9 game. Plenty of leg for Davidson, and it is good. So a 36-yard field goal for Davidson at the 6:42 mark. Closed the gap to 14-9. Well, you said right afterwards they need to put it in the end zone. They did not.
Nope. I believe it was a blown opportunity. Good points. So, right, anytime you get points, that's goodness. But this was a blown opportunity where you had a chance to actually put 7 on there and keep the ball and move it a little bit more. I thought maybe it'd go back to it's Coach Martin taking a deep breath, go back to that option. Didn't see him run the option. Came out with a big pass at first, and then you're in a situation where now you're 2nd and long, and it just didn't work out, so ended up kicking it.
You look at the New Mexico bench. That's Cody Baker that they were looking at. There's Doug Martin in the Aggies. Probably a little frustrated with his offense unable to get into the end zone. I think if you'd have told him that by this time in the game they wouldn't be in the end zone, he'd be concerned, and he probably still is at 14-9, but he's still in the game. Possessions have been long. You got a quarter and a half behind you. Gibson deep for New Mexico. Parker Davidson again with the wind behind him is going to put this one through the end zone. It'll be another touchback. The Lobos will start at the 25. You know, kickoff, did you know, Danny, New Mexico and special teams, now they had Carlos Wiggins, who was really good, but they have scored on kickoff returns. Over the last 5 years, they've scored 8 touchdowns, which is tied for first in the nation with Kansas State. They've scored more touchdowns on kickoff returns than anybody else in the nation over the last 5 years.
Yeah, I saw that stat. That was kind of incredible.
And I guess that's why you want to keep putting that doggone thing through the end zone if you're wearing crimson.
Don't let him get a run out of there, right? So Coach Spaziani, let's see if he can dial up another stop here. This is going to be an important stop with 6:42 in the second quarter.
Owens and Gibson behind Apodaca out of the pistol. It's Owens up the middle, gets about 2. Out to the 27-yard line. Reese, Hanks, a bunch of Aggies there to meet him after the gain of 2.
And I think that started with Butler, who we talked about just being a hard-hitting, aggressive guy. Butler came screaming in and disrupted that thing right away that allowed his teammates to come in there and help out.
Leading rusher for New Mexico is their quarterback, Austin Apodaca. 2 carries for 49 yards and a touchdown for him. Gibson's off his right hip. They give it to Terrion. Terrion's explosive. He's across the 40-yard line, and a first down for New Mexico. Terrell Hanks in on the tackle for New Mexico State.
You know, Gibson had a nice carry in there, and there was a couple times where he had some Aggies that were sticking out their arms. I don't think you're going to bring this guy down with an arm tackle, and you'll see it here. So good blocking up front, got into our linebackers a little bit, and he's just running hard. You're not going to bring him down with one arm.
Hanks and Austin Perkins, the redshirt freshman, on the tackle. First down for the Lobos. Gibson and Owens with the backs. They're just across the 40 at the 42. 14-6 Lobos. Owens this time. Owens is dropped at the 45-yard line. I believe that to be Terrell Hanks. No, it's Javasir Reese. Reese in on the tackle.
Yeah, it's hard to see those numbers sometimes.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, this is tough. Dark on dark, especially in the booth up here. But good penetration there. Lots of people, lots of hats to the ball, which is going to be important here. You got to get a stop. 2nd and 7 for the Lobos.
Owens is the setback man. Gamblin in motion. Owens gets the handoff, gets through Busby's tackle. Now he's out on the corner and wrestled out of bounds at about the midfield stripe by Jerry and Burton. Going to be 2 yards short of the first down.
If that was Busby, I think it was, it had him, just about had him. It's just going to need to get a handful of jersey. Last week against UTEP, there were several occasions where we had him pinned and we just couldn't hold on to the guy. And you need to start making those or slowing him down a little bit.
3rd down and 1 for the Lobos. They're at the 49, need the 48. Gibson with Austin Apodaca. Gauchi is off the right side, leading the block. Gibson gets a first down. Well, does he? It's going to depend on the mark. It looks like the far linesman is going to mark it just about where he needs to be.
So here the Aggies, the linebackers come screaming in, and you see him just kind of get over top there, and I think he got that first down.
He needs the 48. I want to say just on the Lobo side of the 48. I believe that's right about where they marked it.
I think they're going to try to take a look at this.
Yeah, I think they got this one. You know, we talk about getting off the field on 3rd down for the New Mexico State defense, and it's one thing if it's 3rd and 1 and you say, all right, 3rd and 1 at midfield, all right, you can handle that one. It's the 3rd and 10s, the 3rd and 22s, the 3rd and 18s that are the ones that just kill you.
Well, here's the other thing that happens, Jeff. When you get to all these situations where it's 3rd
first
and
down
whatever,
New Mexico.
First down, and you stay on the field for the defense, it just gets harder and harder as the drive extends. You start to become winded a little bit, and that's when you start to make mistakes. But this is where they got to hang in there with 4:35 to go. Hanks has got 10 tackles. Butler's been in on a lot. They just need to have good penetration up front and hang in there.
13th first down of the first half. for the Lobos, who now set up at first down at the 48-yard line with a 14-9 lead. Owens and Gibson with Austin Apodaca's gone the whole way so far for the Lobos at quarterback. He runs the option to the near side. Apodaca pitches to Gibson. Gibson's across the 40 and run out of bounds at the 37-yard line. It looked like...
Well, that's how the option is, right? It always looks like you're just there and you got him. So let's look at this pitch here. So assignment, everyone's assigned to someone. You saw the pitch there. Nice pop on the quarterback. I like that. Now I'd say here's another thing that you need to do when you're defending. We'll get someone down. Yeah. When you're defending the option, here's what I like. I think it's important. It's Apodaca.
It's Apodaca.
Okay.
Yeah, and the first guy there is Lamar Jordan, the other quarterback with whom he's been competing all camp. Let's take a look at the hit that's got Austin Apodaca down. He was running the option to the near side, and just as he got rid of it to Terrion Gibson, Austin Apodaca got hit. Here it is.
Is that Hanks? That's Terrell Hanks on the hit there.
It's number 2, Terrell Hanks, and it's look right. I mean, I don't want to guess. It looks right in the ribs area. It could just knock the wind out of him. We'll see. We're going to take a break, and we'll update you on Austin Apodaca's condition when we come back, and it'll be first down for the Lobos. They lead the Aggies 14-9, 4:13 left in the first half here on Aggie Vision.
Fantasy football.
4:13 to go in the first half. Austin Apodaca walked off the field on his own accord. He was not assisted. There you'll see him here in a moment. He is sitting on the training table. Danny, I don't want to guess. I mean, it could be, his rib could hurt, or he could have got the wind just knocked out of him. He was hit hard. He was hit clean. And we'll obviously keep an eye on it. Now, Lamar Jordan's going to take his first snap of the season for New Mexico. A guy who started the bowl game last year, a guy who started the majority of their games last season, a guy who they've got a tremendous amount of faith in, and a guy who, honestly, I think we were all surprised didn't take a snap last week. He starts very, very good and has had some big games against New Mexico State, and certainly we'll talk about that. Runs an option on the first play, keeps it. Runs away from Rodney. Nope, does not run away from Rodney Butler. Butler gets him around the ankles after a gain of 3.
That's great closure by Rodney Butler. But, Lamar Jordan, you talked about it. He's had good games against the Aggies. Last year against New Mexico State, he had 157 yards, 16 carries. He threw the ball five times, completed it 5 times on 17 throws for 45 yards. He really did quite well, and he moves the ball, and he's a good runner. So he's a kind of a hard guy to bring down.
Chestnut and Owens now in the backfield with Lamar Jordan on second down. Lamar keeps it and gets crunched by Dalton Harrington. He got about a yard on that. Harrington coming off the edge, made the read, and it's going to make it 3rd down and long for the Lobos.
So, Hanks, Butler, Harrington, the linebackers, they're doing a great job. Hanks has got 10 tackles. Butler's got 9.
He's got 10 already?
I think Harrington, that's his 9th tackle already. So those guys are getting up there. The thing about a quarterback coming in that's cold and you're running an option, sometimes you think I have to do more than I need to, and so it's very difficult to just get thrown into these situations. Defense is good pressure, great pressure so far.
3rd down and 8. Lobos need the 27-yard line. Look for Gauchi. He's lined up in the slot on the left side. Instead, they give it to Owens on a draw play, a little delay. Gets by Harrington, by Butler, and he gets a first down. Burton on the tackle, but not before he picks up 10. And the Aggies give up another 3rd down and long, first down.
Those 3rd down and longs are really the ones that, as I talked to Coach Spaziani last week, that was very difficult with against UTEP. And here you see a couple chances at him, but we just couldn't get there. He's just nice and quick and fast, and he just couldn't get to him, and he converts that into a first down, which is tough.
First down for the Lobos. They've got the 14-9 lead, and they got the ball at the 25-yard line. There's inside 2.5 minutes to go. Woodhouse. That's Daquan Woodhouse up the middle for a few. Rodney Butler grabs him around the ankles after a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Daquan Woodhouse, who had 69 yards rushing last week. Boy, they just so many.
They just keep bringing him out, don't they? It's just like, okay, fine. We have Woodhouse, we have McCorley, we got Gibson, Owens. It just keeps going. Chestnut, it just keeps going. Makes it tough. Aggies got to dig in here. They've had a good series on this. They just got to hold him and keep him out of the end zone.
Woodhouse and Terrion Gibson in with Lamar Jordan, replaced Austin Apodaca on this drive. The give is to Gibson. Dances away from one, and brought down at the 20-yard line. So here's another third down for New Mexico State's defense. It'll be 3rd and 5 for the Lobos. They're at the 20-yard line, need the 15. Clock's ticking down towards 1:20 to go. 14-9 Lobos.
You know, everyone's thinking option because that's what they have. And you have a new quarterback. It's like, oh, the only thing he can do is run the option. I would watch, if I was a secondary coach, and say, you just watch those guys on the wide receiver, because I wouldn't be unlike him to pick it up and throw the ball either.
Daquan Woodhouse is the back. They motion Gibson back into the backfield now behind Lamar Jordan. Woodhouse did not get there. Butler's in there. Noah Brown lost his hat. It's going to be 4th down and 3. The Lobos have a decision to make with 55 seconds to go and the clock is stopped.
Good pressure up front again. That defensive front has really turned it up this second quarter. And there you see those guys come screaming in there. Gang tackle, I like to see it. Lots of hats to the ball. We got hats flying off.
Brown and Butler leading the charge. And Bob Davies going to send his kicker out, Jason Sanders, to try and put 3 points on the board. This would be a 35-yard attempt. Now, this is good news if you're a Lobo fan. Austin Apodaca is the holder on place kicking, and he is on the field, which leads me to believe, Danny, it was a wind knocked-out situation and not an injury per se. So if you're a Lobo fan, there's number 10, who you saw your quarterback get knocked out on this drive, but he's on the field, and that's really good news for you.
Yes.
Timeout. Both teams still have 3 timeouts left. Cowbells are out here at Aggie Memorial Stadium. Turned out to be a really nice night, didn't it?
It did.
Look at that sideline. This is a pretty big last minute for New Mexico State. The clock's down to 45 seconds. In a 5-point game, Sanders, it'll be his first field goal attempt of the day. Career high is 38 against Arizona State. This would be 35 yards. And again, now we have a timeout called by New Mexico. So the Lobos called that timeout. That is interesting. And obviously they just don't feel right with the alignment or something that they had out there, because there's been a lot of time for them to get the personnel out there, right?
Yeah, so you see Coach Davey talking to that line up front, so maybe he saw something that they were going to come out there and thought, okay, well, they're going for the block. Well, of course they're going to go for the block, but maybe it's a setup or something they hadn't seen before. Which I don't know what it is, because usually you're just gap. It's just every gap from, you know, all the way out from A on out is going to be filled.
I think if you're a Lobo fan, it's great to see Austin Apodaca in the middle of this. It's going to be interesting to see who the quarterback will be when they come out. They've moved the football tonight. They've moved the football to the point of 219 total yards as New Mexico, 168 of it been on the ground, which is really no surprise, Danny, that they have dominated. The dominant part of their offense is running the football. UNM has had the ball this possession 6 minutes and 9 seconds, 6:09. It's hard to come back, Danny, when you can't get the football, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
So now they've decided to not kick the field goal. That's what that timeout was all about. They're going to go for it. 4th down and 3.
Well, we got a timeout over here.
And the Aggies have called a timeout.
That's a nice timeout, because that's what you want to be. Oh, yeah.
And you see who the quarterback is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what Bob Davey decided, that's what he was thinking in his head. You know what? I'm not comfortable. I mean, right? I'm not comfortable kicking this field. I mean, we can get the points, but dadgummit, we can make a statement here. Let's put this thing a little bit of distance. And why the clock move? Why was it at 45 then and now it's at 33 now? There hadn't been a play run.
Yeah, that's part of our trick play, that we run the clock when it. Yeah, you got to do whatever you need to, right, to make sure you get a win. Yeah, so I'm not sure that I totally agree with this, because I think 3 is still a good, if you can get 3 and walk off with it, as opposed to going to.
All right, so here you go. 4th down and 3 for the Lobos. They got a 14-9 lead. They need the 20-yard line. Austin Apodaca's back in at quarterback. Terrion Gibson is the setback off his right hip. Option, Danny?
Yeah, I would.
Apodaca looks over to the sideline, and the play clock has run out. It's a delay of game. Play clock ran out on him. After all that time, we've been sitting here for about a month, and after all that time, it looks like they took a delay. Yep. Were they trying to draw him off? I mean, you think that was part of it? It would be
It didn't seem
quite
like
an
it.
exercise to run out your field goal unit, call a timeout.
And try to get a cheap, cheesy first down?
Right.
Well, maybe. Hey, if it works, right?
Well, maybe that was it. Aggies didn't jump. Second penalty, 10 yards in penalties against New Mexico. And now here comes the field goal unit, Jason Sanders, and this one will be backed up to 41 yards, which I'm told would be a career high. So after all that, you're going to get a field goal attempt, Danny. Austin Apodaca's the holder for New Mexico. I mean, why not try a fake after all that, right? Sanders into the wind. He's got plenty of leg on it, and it looks plenty of good. So 41 yards on the Sanders field goal, and New Mexico's up their lead to 17-9. After all that, right?
Yeah. It's kind of interesting how that all played out there.
All right.
Hey, good series, though, for the defense, right? Held them to 3. You're still in the game. You're coming up here at the end of the first half, and it's a close game. You've kept the score close enough where we're going to make adjustments on offense. So Doug Martin's going to go in there and say, okay, how do we keep going here? You see our defense right there, Dalton Harrington, Butler, did a great job. They got to keep that pressure on this second half.
All right, you're in New Mexico. You're up 17-9. You're moving the ball pretty well. You haven't let New Mexico State into the end zone yet. You're winning, so you feel good. The Aggies go in, assuming it stays at this point. You're down by 8. You worried about your offense?
A little bit, but I'm still confident. I am a bit. Now, I think there were some missed passes that we missed opportunities, but I think Coach Martin is going to get them in the end zone this second half. But that first half not getting there, especially on that turnover, that hurt, I think.
Yeah, that was a big one, although they forced the turnover. Taylor and Hogan deep for New Mexico State to return this kickoff. That's Taylor who's going to field it at the goal line and bring it out. Toronto with a 15. Taylor across the 30-yard line and pushed out of bounds.
Man, that's a shoestring, wasn't it?
A brief gasp went through the crowd, and now with 21 seconds to go, do you take a shot or you take a knee? 41-yard field goal, by the way, capped a 13-play, 57-yard drive that took 6 minutes and 14 seconds. What do you like? Take a shot?
I like taking a knee. And I know that's kind of, and I know both my boys are watching this going, oh, man, you are such a conservative
Damn, what
dude.
happened to my dad?
Yeah, you're a defensive guy that just loves to attack, and here they are. They're going to take a shot.
See what Tyler Rogers does. He's looking over for some advice. Xavier Hall's the setback. They'll change the formation just a little bit. 12 on the play clock. Tyler's going to roll left, and he's going to take a shot. See, they don't listen to you. He's got Caldwell down there. Good thing they don't listen to you. It's complete. And he's all the way down to the 16, 17-yard line. Why listen to you?
Yeah, no doubt.
Caldwell
certainly don't. He's got stepped on or something in there. Yeah, no, good thing they didn't listen to us. Here, a little play action. The interesting thing is that UNM, the Lobos were certainly sitting back knowing they were going to take a deep ball, and there's Caldwell, who is the fastest guy on the Aggie roster. He splits the two high safeties, goes up the middle, and neither of them went to make a play. So if they don't, you're going to get that. So it is a good thing they didn't listen to me, and it is a good thing that they went for it.
That's a bummer to see right there, and you can see he's hurt, and there was Daniel Henry in pursuit. Guys, if we got another shot of that, I'd love to see it again and maybe see what happened to his leg, but take a shot or take a knee. Danny, knee, and that's why it is. You're not going to knee. I get it. No, how can I?
Yeah. Well, you're not going to ask me now, right? Because I already blew the last one. And
well,
so
now
you're going to take a point. So,
well, you haven't got the points yet.
Well, you're going to. So I say kick it. What do you say?
Well, I say you got to take a shot now, don't you? I mean, you're at the 20-yard line. You got 2 timeouts left.
Well, you want to use it.
Line.
You're right. You got a few timeouts, so at least you're going to get another play off there. So if you think about, here's the pass right here. He just launches it. See, he just blew past everyone, which totally surprises me.
See, where's the injury?
Every safety, it's right.
Because it looked like he was going down. It didn't look like he got hit, did it? Maybe it's an ankle. Maybe he turned the ankle. We'll see. And I've been looking down here on the near sideline to see what the treatment is. But the Aggies have a first down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Burke is the running back. It doesn't matter because Tyler's going to throw. Looks into the end zone, and it is incomplete. And there's a flag there. Nias Martin on defense. They were looking for Scott. The first time Scott has been targeted tonight. Nias Martin called for the interference.
Now we'll have to take a look at this. So good blocking up front. So first of all, lots of time to throw the ball. Throws the ball deep. Nice pass in there.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't. Could you tell?
I couldn't tell. No,
I couldn't tell from that angle.
No, and they're looking for Jaleel Scott, the big 6'6" transfer from Ellsworth Junior College. Now you got a decision. Now there's 7 seconds on the clock. You have 2 timeouts. You can't run them around and run this clock out. You got to run something quick and kick a field goal if you don't get it, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. You got 7 seconds, and if you think here's the last one right there, let's take a look and see what happened. Did he get there before the ball? Maybe
close,
just a little bit. It's dang close. Yeah, if you think about each play is about 3 or 4 seconds, it doesn't leave you any time. So if you have anything, it's pop, bang, that's it.
Rogers near side. It is caught for a touchdown to Scott.
Wow.
Touchdown, New Mexico State. Wow. Tyler Rogers to Jaleel Scott. Scott's first touchdown reception of his New Mexico State career. And the Aggies took the ball with under 30 seconds to go, marched down the field, and it made it a 17-15 game.
Just a little post in there where he's just going to come back in there, and I'm counting in my head 1,000. That was 1,004 right there. So he had to either get this, he still had 3 seconds, but that's just a nice pitch and catch.
Parker Davidson on for the extra point to make it a 1-point game, and Danny Nee, all of a sudden, he missed it. Can you believe he missed another one? He hit the upright. We still have a football game. We just don't have a 1-point game. We got a good football game. Parker Davidson misses his second extra point. He's making them from 40 yards on field goals, and it's his second PAT that he's missed this season, and we got a 17-15 game. That is an impressive drive. I'm going to tell you something. And there's Doug Martin talking to his young kicker. Said, young men, I don't know how that conversation goes. You tell me, Danny. You got to figure this thing out, young man.
I think this is one of the things. This is hilarious too, because when you talk to all the kickers, you got to be careful because you don't want to get in their head too much. It's more like, everything is cool. You got it under control. Just do your best. Do what you normally do in practice. Don't worry about it. The big thing was when we were playing is like no one is allowed to talk to the kicker except for the head coach.
2 plays, 69 yards, 5 yards. Tyler Rogers to Jaleel Scott. It took 17 seconds, Danny.
I cannot believe it. And it starts back. Ask me again about that third play.
Take a shot or you take a knee?
Yeah, that's right.
What if I said
I blew that one?
It's Danny Nee, so I guess you're a little bit partial to the knees. I understand.
It's surprising though that they're able to march down because the Lobos certainly knew they were going to have to throw the ball deep, right? That's the only thing they had.
They probably thought like you did. They probably figured they'd take a knee. There's a pooch kick that goes to the 45-yard line. So what do Lobos do? They take a shot or they take a knee now? They're at the 45-yard line. Might as well take a shot, right? We got to lose.
Yeah, 3 seconds. Certainly they could get a pick on that, but they'd have to go a long way. Is that something that they could run back?
Kenyon
Maybe.
Donaldson's the guy who was able to get it and get down quickly, and Doug Martin's thinking the same thing. Let me get out of here with a little bit of momentum. So let's see what the Lobos do, and if you're the Aggies, you don't let anything behind you. Austin Apodaca's the quarterback. 17-15 is the score. New Mexico State striking quickly to make it a game. They got 3 wides to the near side.
Hey, I've played in a UNM game. There's something similar to this happened at the very end of the game. So you still have to go get the quarterback, though.
Well, they're going to take a shot. And like I said, why not? Apodaca rolls. He's going to unload it and throw it down there and see what happens. And you got a man down there, and it is knocked away. And that is a heck of a play. It looked like it was Jaden Wright, I believe, is the guy who knocked it away.
And that was that Patrick Reed? That pass was to Patrick Reed there?
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick Reed got behind the Aggie defense on there, so that was trouble. That ball just hung up there a little bit longer here. So you see Apodaca loading up, throwing as far as he can, and he gets behind everyone because the defense stops running back.
Yep.
Man, that's tough.
It's Wright and Jacob Nwanga, number 1, who were there to put it away, and we got a football game here at halftime. Aggies come back in the last minute, and they are able to put a touchdown drive together. Doug Martin is with us. Coach, huge drive for you in the last few seconds. Was there ever a doubt whether you want to take a knee or take a shot?
Well, we were going to see how they were lined up, Jack. I was a little surprised, they didn't play back deep and prevent. So we took the shot and finally made a play.
Hey, Coach, Danny Nee here. Hey, so the offense is really starting to move the ball a little bit more. Defense got to get a little tougher. They did well the second part of the second quarter there. Adjustments?
Yeah, I think it's just the speed of the game was the main thing. It's hard to simulate that option in practice, Danny, and we're kind of getting a feel for it now, and the defense is starting to play a little bit better. But we just got to be more consistent offense. We missed a wheel route for a touchdown down here and had to settle for a field goal, and that's really what's hurting us right now.
All right, thanks for the time, Doug. Appreciate it. It's a heck of a ball game so far. 17-15, Aggies trail the Lobos as we go to halftime, and a little closer than maybe some people thought. I don't know. Maybe some of the people up north.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it comes down to that last series, Jeff, right? So that last series goes a different way and a whole different complexion, but they let New Mexico State sneak in.
All right, we're going to have a heck of a second half here. It's halftime in Las Cruces. Lobos lead the Aggies 17-15 on Aggie Vision.
Gary, I am proud of you, my man. Making simple, smart cashback choices. With Quicksilver from Capital One.
Welcome into the ESPN3 Halftime Report presented by Capital One. I'm Trevor Scales. We'll get you out to the second half in just a bit, but first, let's take a look at the Capital One Cup Impact Performance of the week. Louisville quarterback Lamar Jackson is our winner. Lamar took it to Charlotte in the opening weekend for the Louisville Cardinals, racking up a school record 8 touchdowns, 6 passing, 2 on the ground, and 405 yards of offense in the first half. The Louisville quarterback got everyone some touches, hitting 6 different receivers for touchdowns, and was part of a rushing attack that totaled 272 yards on the way to a 70-14 rout of the Charlotte 49ers. With that type of performance, Lamar Jackson certainly got himself in the early talks surrounding Heisman Trophy candidates. All right, let's get you updated with everything that is going on today and join the Goal Line Network in progress. Just a reminder, the Goal Line is available through participating TV providers and live on Watch ESPN. Enjoy.
And Louisville.
Territory stopped by penalties of their own making. That is picked out of the air by Krenwick Sanders, the Wisconsin transfer, in free flight. The 20-10 touchdown. A 76-yard touchdown.
LSU currently leading this game 13-10, but a dramatic game already in the first half for the Tigers. They replaced quarterback Brandon Harris with redshirt junior Danny Etling. Leonard Fournette not playing in this game because of a left ankle injury. And yet you see there Jacksonville State with a breaker, Jenkins flying down the court. So flying down the field, that is. Back to live action between LSU and Jacksonville State. 2:20 remaining in the first half.
Linebacker for a loss of 3. LSU bench wanted a timeout. And again, there's a new quarterback in there, Dusty. Maybe some communication issues.
Looked to be so. He's looking to the sidelines. Looked like they wanted a timeout. He sticks with the play. Maybe the best call would have been to get the timeout. Get themselves in a better play. So Ron Neal playing that nickelback position. Very athletic, a physical player. He's new to that position. Nice job right there on first down. Making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Second and 13. Etling got a little pressure off the edge. Dumped it off to Geis. Making his way to the end zone. Dives. Tried to anyway over Green. Made a touchdown saving tackle. It's a 19-yard play. First down and goal from the 2.
Boy, Cam Cameron is dialing up the right plays at the right time. All-out blitz right there for Jacksonville State. They got the screen pass on. Wide open right there for Darius Geis.
You said at the top with Fournette out, Geis is the guy that's got to step up.
And he has here tonight in the pass game, on the ground, running between the tackles, that counter play, been explosive for this LSU Tiger offense here in the second quarter.
There's Burkeithen Mouton, the fullback, barrels in from a couple yards out. And this is an inspired offensive bunch now. 3 straight touchdown drives.
This looks like a completely different offense play. I mean, 3 straight drives under the helm of Danny Etling, 3 touchdowns. The production they're getting right now. And how about the answer? Jacksonville State strikes with a big play, defense, offense right back on the field. Drive down, get another Tiger touchdown.
Colby Delahousse, who got his place-kicking job back this year after Trent Domingue transferred to Texas. Makes it 20.
The LSU offense has completely changed under Danny Etling. 3 straight scoring drives. Back out to Missouri and Eastern Michigan. Start of the second half.
Of that leg. Well, Alex Corddry's down on the field. What was on the mind of Eastern Michigan head coach Chris Creighton?
Yeah, his first word, frustrating. Coach Creighton said they really kind of shot themselves in the foot, but Missouri, they were able to score fast. The first half kind of defined by self-imposed mistakes, but he says it's a great challenge for his team here in the second half to get back in this one. Now, he did give us an update on Shaq Van. He said the trainers will continue to ice him, but he said don't expect to see him here in the second half.
Alex, thanks so much. That's completely changed the complexion of this game offensively for Eastern Michigan. Van just 1 carry before getting banged up after having 156 rushing yards in their opener last week. Todd Porter looking to throw, dumps it off underneath to the back. Erickson, that's well read for a loss of a yard by Michael Shear.
We haven't mentioned Shear's name much. He led this team with 10 tackles last week, but he wasn't happy at all with the way he played. He felt like he, in the heat of the battle, reverted back to the previous defense. When Damani Cross came in with Barry Odom as a defensive coordinator, they changed the terminology, and Shear had a flashback.
Porter comes to the near side. Bailey with the catch, but quickly wrapped up by John Gibson. Now that's a common thing, Ray, I would think, whenever a new coordinator comes in, terminology changes. But you have to realize that's how big of an adjustment that is for players.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. In fact, when my first 3 years in professional football, I had 3 different systems, and so I took the first one and I did translation into the next one. It can get confusing, brother, let me tell you. It gets lost in translation.
Eastern Michigan's done well on 3rd down tonight, 7 for 12 on 3rd and 5 here, low and incomplete.
And Porter is shaken up. He had a man open.
Back to Arkansas and TCU, and the 15th ranked Horned Frogs in trouble as the Hogs in the red zone with a 2nd and goal, 4th quarter, 12:30 remaining.
Wrapped up that time by Josh Caraway.
Well, Williams tried to bounce that one also, and Caraway was having none of it. Bringing up a critical 3rd down play. They can hold him to a field goal attempt. It's still a 2-possession game.
Play caller Dan Enos sends in the 3rd and goal.
Sprinkle and Morgan. Here comes Morgan in motion.
Being chased down, flag is down as Allen just burns it that time, but Sammy Douglas was tracking him.
Probably going to be a hold against McFarland, which will be declined and bring up the 4th down.
Holding, number 83, offense. Penalties decline, 4th down.
Tried a little misdirection. I think they were going to roll right and do a throwback. Sprinkle got caught holding on McFarland.
So
Good
Cole
defense.
Hedlund comes on. A field goal has us as a 16-point margin. So the extreme end of 2 possessions, but still 2 possessions. And it is no good. Off the upright and no good. A 22-yarder is clanked.
TCU gets a break there as Arkansas misses the short 22-yarder, but they're still in trouble as time is winding down in the 4th quarter. All right, back out to Jacksonville State and LSU, time winding down in the first half of this one. Tigers up by 10. The Gamecocks with the ball with a 2nd and 7.
Being a guy who played a little high school football in the great state of Texas, that's no small feat, I can tell you right now, Clay.
Yeah, you're a Texan. You don't have boots on like Luganville, though.
I'm a Texan, but don't tell people in Oklahoma. That's where I live now.
Yeah. And he's not a Texan either, but he just wears the boots.
Yeah.
Pressure coming here from LSU on 2nd down and 7, but this is going to be whistled dead. Flags on the field. Ken Williamson, a referee tonight. It's an SEC officiating crew. And that's going to be against the Gamecocks. At least that's what the indication is from the LSU Tigers. This started well for John Gross's Gamecocks tonight.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 56. Penalty, and then 2nd down. Please put 56 seconds on the game clock. 56.
But as we inch toward halftime here, Dusty, no doubt LSU has the momentum now that they were looking for.
Thank you.
Mo is on their side, no question. I think you can attribute all that to Danny Etling, the spark he's brought to this LSU offense. Lethargic through the first 5 quarters of the season. All of a sudden now seem unstoppable here in the 2nd quarter.
It has been tense around here this past week after the embarrassing loss to Wisconsin. Maybe the most embarrassing for Les Miles since he took the job here in Baton Rouge. And he's had to answer for a lot of things. He's had to defend Brandon Harris. He's had to defend his offensive coordinator, Cam Cameron.
Thank you very much.
Still having issues with the clock.
Well, that's the kind of guy Les Miles is. He's going to go to bat for his players. He's going to stand there and take it on the chin. He's going to take up for them. But at some point, you've got to turn the page. You got to give somebody else an opportunity. We saw that here tonight with Danny Etling.
Well, we still got more than a half to go. Sounded more and more like the Tiger Stadium we have come to know. Rock Thomas has been contained for the most part. And it's 3rd down. Tonight, after Virginia and Oregon, Sports Center at night with Bucci and Anderson. Highlights from the U.S. Open Women's Final, Major League Baseball. 3rd round of the BMW Championship at Crooked Stick. NFL news, plus, of course, more college football.
Out to Virginia Tech and Tennessee, 2nd and 6 for the Vols.
Sometimes run the quarterback, sometimes run the running back, but it's all based on the numbers between the tackles and in that boxed area.
Hurd running through tackles, 1st down and more. Jalen Hurd upended, but not until he gets down close to the red zone. Faison makes the tackle, but the Big Orange is on the move again.
Yeah, that's more Tennessee football. You'll see a safety, Edmonds, come up. Actually, he already left him behind. He goes up, tries to actually jump Faison, but this is an offense now that's starting to look like the 2015 offense.
Hurd running again. He picks up 4 and 5, and Chuck Clark, the free safety for the Hokies, is hurting.
We talked earlier when they were struggling about, yeah, he is. He may want to have to check himself out. We talked earlier about throwing the ball on their terms. You run the ball with Hurd and you run the ball with Kamara and Dobbs, you can do that.
Running it with Kamara. Kamara slipping down close to 1st down yardage. Going to be 3rd and short.
Heading out to Arkansas and TCU, 3rd and 2. The Horned Frogs moving the ball. Down 13, though, with under 11 remaining.
They have that, guys like Tywan Johnson.
And you have to have depth, which they have this year. That's why they've been able to rotate guys through this game.
Up tempo, Hill downfield, wide open is Turpin. Cavante Turpin, 1st and goal, TCU.
Well, they really set this one up. They're going to fake the wide receiver screen to the outside to Hicks. And it fooled the Arkansas defense. And Turpin went streaking through the middle of the defense.
And now streaking down the field to line up and snap it here. Hicks to the near side. Touchdown. Flag is down. Looks like this will come back.
Holding, number 69, offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay 1st down.
As they review that, we'll jump out to the 2nd and goal between Tennessee and Virginia Tech. Make that 3rd and goal for the Vols.
Tim Settle just splitting a gap there. Settle comes in for Williams and right away makes a play. A highly recruited player coming out of high school. Dropped 30 pounds to get ready for this year. A lot quicker. You just saw it right there.
Inside a minute to go. Tennessee is yet to convert a 3rd down.
Got the fade at the bottom.
Quarterback draw instead. Dobbs 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as they say in Tennessee, give him 6. .23 likely to be about 24 consecutive points. Tennessee is awakened. .39 ticks remaining in the first half, and the Vols about to drop a 24 spot on the Hokies just in the 2nd quarter. The kick is true, and Tennessee has a double-digit lead.
There's some emotion from Butch Jones. He's fired up.
Butch Jones screaming. He likes it. Back out to TCU. 3rd and goal against Arkansas. They're down 13.
Can they close the gap here? Into the end zone. Kenny Hill. Great block by Hicks. When you run the quarterback by design, you pick up an extra blocker. That extra blocker is Hicks. Watch his block right here, the cut block that enables Hill to get it into the end zone. Beautiful execution of the cut block and an easy touchdown for Kenny Hill. And all of a sudden you look up.
7-point game between Arkansas and TCU. Now to Jacksonville State and LSU.
Unbelievable. It's how it's changed. Tre'Davious White fields it at the 40. That's where he stood up, pushed back. He's going the wrong way. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now he's got it in the right direction, and he's got blockers. Are you kidding? Tre'Davious White. If this holds up, I don't see any penalty flags. Touchdown LSU.
Tre'Davious.
That's going to do it for the Capital One Halftime Report. I'm Trevor Scales. Let's get you back out to that 2nd half.
Fantasy football ends here, but it started on the ESPN Fantasy app.
A broadcast of the year, and so far it's a pretty entertaining one. New Mexico leads New Mexico State by a score of 17-15. Take a look at the first half stats. No surprise, New Mexico rushes for a lot of their yards, 167 of them.
Yep.
And the turnover was big. It led to 3 points for New Mexico State. They didn't get in the end zone, and Doug Martin talked about that as he went to the locker room.
Yeah, so I think those statistics are pretty close to what we thought, right? So that New Mexico was going to pass better than the run, and then New Mexico, UNM was going to do the opposite of that. So nothing big there except for that long drive, which is a momentum builder.
Jason Sanders puts his boot to the ball to start the second half, and it's going to go through the end zone, and the Aggies will start on offense in the second half. You know, I asked you as we were coming back, what would be more important here? And I think it's the right thing. You want the ball, but to take the ball or to take direction with the wind in the fourth quarter. Aggies had choice. They took the ball, and the Lobos obviously the Lobos took the wind in the third quarter. So New Mexico State will have the wind behind their back either way in the fourth quarter. It works out well for them. Bob Davie, New Mexico's coach, never lost to the Aggies. Do you know that he is attempting to be the first coach ever to go 5-0 against New Mexico State. Nobody's ever done that. He's 4-0. Aggies start by giving the ball right up the middle. Caldwell is met by Dakota Cox in the hole. No gain on the first play of the half. I'll give him a half a yard.
Yeah.
Half a yard.
And you know, Dakota Cox, you thought we'd call his name more. That's only his 5th tackle of the night, so you would think he'd been in there a lot more.
Second down, 9.5 for the Aggies. It's Hall in there with Rogers, who's got time. Now he's being flushed. Now he is dropped. It is the 3rd sack of the night for New Mexico, and again, it is big number 95, Garrett Hughes, who is there to make it happen.
Good coverage. So 3 guys in the pattern and nothing there. So he had to jump around with his feet, try to make something happen to extend it. He's able to extend it quite well last week against UTEP, but not with the pressure that they're providing right there, so he goes down.
Man down for New Mexico is a big one for them. It's their senior defensive end, Nick Diavanzo, who had 5 tackles and a fumble recovery last week in their opener. The big kid out of Baltimore's Archbishop Curley High School being helped off the field. So the sack, the 3rd of the game for the Lobos, is going to line up a big, long 3rd down play for the Aggies. It'll be 3rd down and 16. They'll be at the 19-yard line, need to get out to the 35. And I know that there had to be some excitement in that locker room for New Mexico State. Coming off that drive, knowing you're getting the football to start. And now you're facing 3rd down and long to get this thing started and keep it moving. Tyler's got time, throws over the middle. It is incomplete, just out of the reach of Caldwell. And the Aggies are going to have to punt.
Okay, so let me ask a question. You saw the pass right there, and let's take a look at it. It's a deep in route, so lots of protection in there, and that pass was out there. Do you think he could have laid out and got to the ball? Let's take a look at it here. Or did he just short arm it, where he just put out one arm and it's like, I don't know if I want it because of the guy coming in there that was going to put the leather to him.
Yeah, Daniel Henry was coming across the safety.
I think he short armed it.
Might have. You've been in with DP. You love seeing those guys come across the middle like that, right?
Expose those ribs, and absolutely.
Davis back to receive the kick for New Mexico. Chris Davis Jr. at the 40. Theisler, and the ball gets away. It's in the end zone, and he tries to kick it out, and he does. Pretty athletic move by Theisler to get it out, and the ball's going to roll around over the 40-yard line, and he turned what could have been a horrific play into something that's palatable.
Can you believe that? I'm baffled. I'm glad that he got the kick off, but here it is, a punt. You come out your first possession where you have the momentum, and all of a sudden you bounce a ball to the punter who gets it and is able at least to get it off.
Tell you what, that is a tremendous play by Peyton Theisler, like I said, to avoid tragedy or to turn into something palatable.
Yeah, that's right. He was looking at a safety right there, right?
No, absolutely he was. And I think, the coach was probably telling him just take it out of the back of the end zone and take the 2.
Right.
You're probably screaming there. So Apodaca comes in at quarterback. There's 3 backs behind him. One of them's Cole Gauchi. The give is to Owens right up the middle. He's dragged down by Rodney Butler and Nwanga, but he pushes the pile. 7 yards on the gain for Owens to the 35-yard line.
The Aggies seem to have this little slow start syndrome where they come out second quarter. Very important, the first series of the second quarter, and that first series on offense was so-so. It's like ho-hum, and then you bounce the ball to the punter. Now the defense has no time to relax. You get in there, you have to dig your heels in right away.
What do you think of that triple I formation with Cole Gauchi?
I liked it. You're talking about power.
Terrion Gibson's now the setback with Austin Apodaca on 2nd down and 3. The give is to Gibson up the middle. Butler's there to corral him, but I think he just got exactly the 3 yards he needs for the first down. Rodney Butler again on the tackle for New Mexico State.
So they come back, and it's the option, and you'll see Butler, 53 right here, go downfield, get in there, and just grab a leg and just knock him down. Good thing he did, too.
So first down for the Lobos, their first possession of the second half. They've got a 2-point lead, 17-15. Owens and Gibson, I formation. Austin Apodaca's the quarterback. And we got a timeout called by the Lobos. They didn't like something they saw. The coaches came running out on the field and called a timeout. So in the middle of a drive, 2 plays in, Bob Davey will burn one of his timeouts. See if that's something that he's going to need later.
Yeah, certainly he may need that later. However, They're in good field position right here, so if they miss an opportunity, that would be even worse. But it doesn't make it any better that you burnt a timeout, and he doesn't look really happy right there.
Danny, offensively, the Lobos move the football, and they do it rushing. We talked about it a lot. They had 167 of their 218 yards rushing in the first half, and so much of it is because of that. It's all that offensive line, right?
Right.
They've got dynamic back, but it's veteran. They got 187 combined starts.
It is. It does take. It is a seasoned offensive line, no doubt about it. But it's that option too, right? So they set up that option with a whole different variations on there, and that option is tough to defend, and they run it and execute it quite well.
Owens, Gauchi, Gibson, all in a triple I formation and a pistol behind Austin Apodaca. The give is to Owens, who runs into the offensive or the defensive line of the Aggies. There's about 5 guys. He still never went down.
Yeah. I keep waiting for them to do something like, hey, diddle, I'm going to run all these guys right up the middle. What are you going to do about it?
That might be part of the game plan. Bob DeBest, the offensive coordinator. They've expanded this option. If you watch what they've done, New Mexico, I'm talking about, with the option from 3 years ago to 2 years ago to now, there's always another wrinkle that they're throwing into it. And I think Bob DeBest has to be commended with what he's done creatively with this. Second down for New Mexico, 2nd and 8. It's Gibson is the back. Apodaca to throw, near side, it is caught. That's Damian Gamblin, run out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. Another first down for the Lobos. It will be at the 10. Damian Gamblin, the senior out of Mesquite, Texas.
That's Terrell Hanks on the coverage there, and he just beat him to the sideline. So that's a quick out, and it's just a sprint to the sidelines. Now, Terrell Hanks is a pretty fast guy himself, but he just got beat right to the sidelines. Quick toss to the out. And there he goes.
First down and goal. It's inside the 10, just outside the 9-yard line for the Lobos. They got a 17-15 lead. It's their first possession of the second half. Richard McCorley, power back, is in there, along with Terrion Gibson. The gives to McCorley, who runs to the 5-yard line. Ran right over Rodney Butler, who held on to him and dragged him down after a gain of 3.5, 4 yards.
That's a tough run right there. That's just determination.
So they run in a couple of fresh receivers. Reed comes in. Matt Quarles comes in. I formation. Once again, it's McCorley and Gibson. Second and goal for New Mexico at the 5. McCorley, touchdown, New Mexico. 5 yards, right up the middle. Richard McCorley's 3rd touchdown of the season, and it's 23-15.
There's not much you can do about that. There's just a situation where you just line up. They got you almost tricked where they're going to run that option and just almost walk into the end zone. It seems like there was a missed opportunity early on, but let's take a look here. Right up the middle, just great blocking.
Great job by that line. Yeah, just a great job by that veteran offensive line that we talked about. You look at everybody pushing over. It's just a heck of a job by that offensive line. So McCorley scores for the 3rd time this season on the ground. Had a heck of a game last week, 13 carries on 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's his first touchdown tonight. Jason Sanders is on for the conversion, which is good, and it is 24-15. So instead of the momentum that the Aggies thought that they were going to take coming out of the locker room, they stall and go backwards, give it to the Lobos in great field position, and New Mexico is able to cash the check. 10 minutes, 54 seconds. It's the McCorley touchdown that made it 24-15. The Lobos over the Aggies on Aggie Vision.
Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo and you, together we'll go far. Route 66. Pepsi. And by White Sands Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back to Aggie Memorial Stadium. The Lobos have a 24-15 lead over New Mexico State early in the 3rd quarter. Jeff Zimbieta and Danny Nee. Danny, I asked Doug Martin, the New Mexico State coach, about this earlier this week. He said no excuses, next man up, but certainly something's missing.
Yeah, there is. There's something missing, and that's Larry Rose. Larry Rose, who has a sports hernia, didn't get on the field this year so far, and they need him desperately. You can see the numbers from last time they've met, 260 yards. He's one of the guys that they have to have in that offense that makes things happen.
Yeah, you remember the Aggies were up 29-14 in the 3rd quarter. Larry had 3 big runs in the first half. Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year, the leading rusher returning for New Mexico State, and they miss him. And Doug Martin said, look, there's no excuses. He comes back, we're going to love to have him, but they haven't been able to establish a running game so far.
Right, and that was him in the street clothes right there.
Hogan and Taylor back to receive the kick for New Mexico State. Tron's going to take it 7 yards deep, 8 yards deep, take a knee. It'll be a touchback, and the Aggies will start at the 25-yard line on the touchback. All right, 5-yard rushing touchdown by McCorley capped off a 6-play, 42-yard drive for the Lobos. It took them 3 minutes and 6 seconds to get that done. It's 24-15. So I ask you this, is the momentum of that last drive by New Mexico State gone because of what just happened in the last 2 series?
I think it's certainly going to be hard to find and kindle. It's waning for sure.
Huntley takes the handoff and goes nowhere, maybe a yard, dragged down to the line of scrimmage by Nick DiVanzo. DiVanzo was the player that you saw injured on the last defensive series for New Mexico, so he's back in the lineup, a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9.
So getting the momentum back means that you have to get a play that's going to get you downfield. One explosion play, and you'll get that momentum back.
Tyler's going to throw near side. It's complete. That's O.J. Clark, who bounced off of I.B. Brown, bounced backwards, stayed on his feet, and probably a loss of a yard back to the 25, maybe the 24. It sets up 3rd down and 11.
I think Coach kind of chewed their rear end on defense a little bit because Brown came in there with a little leather, didn't he? A little pop to that thing. O.J. Clark hang on to that. It's like, oh my goodness.
Brown's the one who had that big hit on that first series on Clark. Came in and hit him pretty good that time too. Rogers pressured, has to step up and spin away. He does, dumps it complete, short of the 1st down. That is going to be Clark again out to the 32-yard line, but about 3 or 4 yards short of where the Aggies need to be, and they got to kick it away again.
Yeah, so
Daniel Henry on the stop.
So the pressure on Tyler, so not as much time to sit back in the pocket there, right? So there he is, have to step up and make something happen with his feet. We're going to put a little pressure on him. He's able to get the pass off, but Henry came in with a pop.
Daniel Henry, very well-traveled young man from San Diego. So it's Davis back to receive the Peyton Thiesler punt. Much better snap this time, and he still barely got it off. He double pumped. Tell you what, he's like the trick punter.
How did he kick that?
I don't know, but the thing's still rolling around at the 15-yard line and out of bounds.
I cannot believe they didn't block that thing. Did it go right between his arms or something? That was amazing.
Well, Lobos are going to take it over the 10-yard line. Trick punts. That's what he's good at, huh? Take a look at the replay as we go to break. 24-15. Lobos have the ball with the lead when we come back on Aggie Vision. At Aggie Vision.
All right, here it comes Big D. D's got to D up. You got to do something here.
New Mexico will open up after that was a bizarre punt. I watched it again, Danny. It's Thiesler, the last 2 punts. One he tracks down on the back line of the end zone and is able to get about 40 yards out of it. And this one, he double pumps and got it under a guy's arm and he rolls him back to the 10. And that's where New Mexico will start. Terrion Gibson is the setback behind Austin Apodaca. Gamblin in motion. Give is to Gibson, who bounces it outside, now is running away from Deuce. Push out of bounds after a gain of about 9 yards on it. Shamad Lomax is there to push him out of bounds.
You know, it's tough when you give them the edge like that. You got to get that contained and keep that contained in there and don't let that thing bounce outside. So then you have your safeties and corners going out there to force the play, and you end up getting a good 1st down start, which leaves you a 2nd and short. Very, very tough. There you see Coach Spaziani right there, and Coach Sukup. Coach Sukup handles the one on the left, handles the linebackers. The defense coordinator is Coach Spaziani.
Owens and Gibson behind Apodaca on 2nd down and 1. Terrion Gibson tackled by Hanks, but not before he got the 2 yards he needed for a 1st down. At NMSU Aggie Vision. Go ahead and tweet us. Tell us from where you're watching. I got texts from all over the country tonight. Glad you're able to catch us wherever it is that you are. Hope you're enjoying it. Michael's watching in Florida. Scott's watching in Florida as well. Keep them coming at NMSU Aggie Vision. 1st down and 10 for New Mexico, just outside the 20-yard line. Controlling the tempo, controlling the ball, and they've got a 24-15 lead. Owens is the setback. Apodaca pumps, throws over the head of Patrick Reed and incomplete.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. Part of that is he let it drift high, but there was pressure being brought by the Aggies, so he had to get the ball out quite quickly. I think that's the first time I've really seen his arm in action, and that's a nice throw right there.
7 of 12 is Austin Apodaca through the air tonight for 72 yards. His long was 21 yards, so 7 of 12. He's very, very efficient and runs this offense very well. And he's got his team up 24-15. Owens is the setback off his right hip. Gauchi's in the slot on the left. Apodaca looks right, now back left. Being pressured by Stody Bradley, and he throws the ball over the head of Gamblin out of bounds, and it'll be 3rd down and 10. Stody Bradley coming off that left end was able to pressure him out of the pocket, maybe force him a little bit, make him hurry.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It took him out of his position where he had to throw the ball on the run. Still doable, but it's also tougher, and that's part of what Spaziani's trying to do, is just create some pressure in there.
Biggest defensive play of the night for Coach Spaziani's defense. It's 3rd down and 10. Aggies have had problems getting off the field on 3rd down. They trail by 9, and they need to get off the field. Owens is the setback. 2 receivers wide left. Apodaca looks over the middle, incomplete, through the hands of Cole Gauchi, and New Mexico will have to punt. Actually, that wasn't Gauchi, was it? I saw 8, but it was Q Drennan, number 9. It was Drennan coming across the middle. He had a touchdown catch last week, and the Aggies have held, and New Mexico will punt.
Q from El Paso, right? So Q gets the ball. That's a quick, hot pass that he had to them there. Just a little bit behind him, though. I'm not sure that's a catchable ball right there.
O.J. Clark and Teron Taylor back to receive the punt from Corey Bojorquez, who's back at his 6-yard line. Punting with the wind behind him. The left footer's got a pretty good one this time. That's Taylor trying to run away from guys. They're going to be dumped at the 37-yard line, where New Mexico State will set up shop on a pretty big offensive series for them. Best field position of the second half on a 46-yard punt. 4-yard return,
yes,
by Teron Taylor.
More importantly than the 4-yard return, Jeff, is that he didn't let that thing roll forever, so the possession, the field possession, where you are on the field is now in Aggies' favor, since they have the ball here at the 38-yard line. So this is a nice start for the offense that followed a great stop on that defense. Good job, defense.
By far the best field position of the second half for New Mexico State. Xavier Hall's the setback off to the right hip of Tyler Rogers, the junior quarterback, trying to engineer a comeback for New Mexico State. They give this to Hall. Runs through 1 tackle. Still on his feet, fighting his way to about the 37-yard line, maybe 38, maybe a yard. We got a down player for New Mexico.
You know, that front line for New Mexico seems like it really stiffened up this half. We come out, try to run the ball a little bit more to create, I'm sure, the gaps for throwing, and there's not a lot happening on those runs so far.
That's number 33, Alex Hart, middle linebacker, sophomore out of Prior Lake, Minnesota, who's down. He was in on the play as Hall got back to the line of scrimmage. Good to see him get up, and we'll take a look at it and see if we can find what happened. You're looking for number 33. You see him coming in.
I don't see it. Maybe it just hit his...
He grabbed that left knee, didn't he?
Right, immediately.
All right, 2nd down and 10 as they treat Hart on the New Mexico sideline. Burke is the setback now. We've been seeing more King Burke certainly this week than we did last week, Danny. Tyler straight back to throw. Time and going deep. Intercepted. Intercepted by Santos. Santos will return it back to the... Well, there's a flag down.
There's a flag down there.
Let's see where we are.
And it could have been pushed by an Aggie, too. I'm not sure. But here's the first time that we've really seen Tyler kind of really shove it in there, right? So he pumps him. It's a pump fake, so it's a stop and go. So he went.
Well, who are they going to call it? It's either going to be on Martin.
Well, yeah, it's got to.
But I mean, The receiver.
I think Martin didn't turn around to look for the ball, did he?
Right, and it's on the defense.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on Nias Martin.
And the sad thing is he had good position, right? So he had good field position right there. He just needed to turn his helmet around and didn't do it. So coach is pissed, but it's the correct call.
Yeah, Bob Davey didn't like it at all, and it negates the takeaway for his defense. But that's got to be the call, right? Nias Martin never looked back for the ball.
Right.
And I couldn't really tell who the receiver was. Was it Scott that was down there? He was trying to get back to the football and couldn't get through the defender, Martin, who never looked back. Now, if he would have looked back, he probably would have been okay, right? So the Aggies keep possession. And a flag is probably going to back them up. It is. It's going to back New Mexico State up 5 yards. So new life for the Aggies. Let's see if they can capitalize on it. Boy, you hate it you hate it all the time, but when it's one of your receivers, Danny?
Yeah, Jonathan Boone, there's no real reason for this at all.
Yeah, you're not going to see it here. It's going to be wide.
It's going to be outside of the...
Yeah. Going to be outside number 13, which was the receiver on the far side. So it's first down at 15 for New Mexico State. Tyler backed up into his own territory now. Time and crosses. It is caught and then dropped. Caught and then dropped by Josh Aganon, the JUCO transfer out of Mesa Community College in Arizona, who got a pass last week.
So that's tough. So that wasn't the perfect pass, certainly, but that ball hit his hands, and he needs to bring that down. Last week, depending on where you look at it and who you talk to, there were 7 to 9 missed catches, and those ones right there will hurt you.
Burke stays in as the back. 2nd and 15 now for New Mexico State. I'm sorry, that's Caldwell who gets the call. Royce bounces to the outside, and he's got a little room. Caldwell near a first down and got it.
There you see his...
Gain of 17 for Royce Caldwell.
There you see his...
And we got something going on the sideline.
Look, is that...
We got something going on over there after the play. We had Jonathan Boone running over there. Something happened on the New Mexico sideline. We'll take a look and see if we can see it on the replay. But a heck of a run. That's probably the best run by a back for New Mexico State of the night, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so here he is right here coming to Caldwell, and he's going to see nothing to the right, break it to the left. That's Boone out there blocking one-on-one, and something just continued on right there.
Nice.
Look,
Martin.
that's a pass. That's a push after, right? So no one sees that. They will see that, though. So it's always the second one in there. I know that firsthand.
Yeah, I'll bet. Tyler gets out of a sack. Now he's running for his life. He's going to tuck it and run and turn a sack into a gain of 2 or maybe 3 yards. So it looked like it was Nias Martin, the defensive back, on the sideline. I don't know if he was in on the play. It certainly looked like he was on the sideline. He's the one who was called for the defensive pass interference.
Yeah, he was getting blocked by Boone out of the play.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So they were continuing to play in the white border, and that's what you saw. 2nd down and 7 for the Aggies. 6:19 and counting. 3rd quarter, 25-14 Lobos. Tyler rolls and wants to throw it back right now. He's just going to throw it away. He was being pressured, and they're going to check and see, was he out of the tackle box? The decision is yes, so there will not be an intentional grounding. It'll go down to 3rd down and 7.
Pressure. Haven't seen had as much this second half. That's the first time he's got a lot of pressure.
Was that Donnie White who was in there? 54?
Not sure who came in on that left side.
So 3rd down and 7. The Aggies need to get to the 26-yard line. Rogers with Burke on his right. Granch on his left. Drops back, throws. It's his tight end, Granch, who's lined up in the backfield. The first catch for Granch, and he's right near the first down. Clayton Granch, the senior out of Long Beach. First catch of the day, and it's a pretty nice call by the offensive staff by New Mexico State.
I wasn't sure if he was going to get that first down there. There he is, just going to do a little slant to the outside. And you saw the receiver before the play start scoot in a little bit, and the purpose is to draw everyone towards him and allow Granch to break out to the left side, which he did there. And it's like, go get the first down.
It's a lot of dude rumbling with the ball at 6'3", 255. Tyler throws near side. It is caught. That's Caldwell inside the 20, down to about the 13-yard line. And 8-yard gain. It'll be second down for New Mexico State.
Nice catch by Caldwell, the fastest Aggie out there, and you can see making people miss him in open space. That's why they do that. That's why they have that play. Get it to him quickly.
Second down and 2. Gertie, fake. Rogers keeps, wrapped up, and goes absolutely nowhere. Maurice Daniels was not fooled at all. Heck of a play there by the linebacker out of Coalinga, California.
So Gertie looked like he had an open hole there and did give the ball, but maybe that's part of it is when you keep it, everyone comes off Gertie and goes to Tyler.
So here it is, third down and 2 for New Mexico State. Gertie stays in. This time he gets it. His first carry of the day goes for a first down for New Mexico State, and they'll keep the drive alive inside the 15-yard line.
Same
Jamar
thing.
Gertie.
Yeah, same thing. So same play. Coaches see the same thing, that there was nice blocking up front there, so they come out with the same look, and this time give the ball to Gertie going straight ahead to get that first down.
So the Aggies keep this drive alive, a pretty important one for them, trailing 24-15. First down and 10 at the 13 for New Mexico State. Xavier Hall comes back into the backfield with Rogers. Tyler fakes, flips, complete to the 10-yard line. He likes the tight end again. And this time, it'll be a different tight end, however. Jackson Solbeck on the catch. The sophomore out of Houston, first catch of the year for him. Second down and 7. Ball's at the 10-yard line. Spreading it out is Tyler. Looks back for a different call. Lobo's showing that they might bring some pressure. 3 wides to the top. Tyler looks, throws, incomplete.
He had him, Jeff.
Behind O.J. Clark.
He had it, and O.J. knows it. He had him. Yeah, that's a tough one there. So when you spread it out and they go 3 by 1, which means you get 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom, and you spread so wide, this is a good opportunity for the Lobos to come because you don't have a lot of blockers. Now they chose to sit back a little bit. He breaks across the middle. It's tough.
Yeah, he had him.
Yeah.
Third down and 7. The Aggies can get a first down at the 3. Hall stays in at running back. Tyler, quick, throws, complete. It'll be a first down, not a touchdown. Looks at Jonathan Boone, but it'll be a first down for New Mexico. Nias Martin defending, or for New Mexico State. Nias Martin defending for New Mexico.
I like nice pitch and catch right there. Get it to Boone, and Boone knew where the first down marker was because you can see him trying to roll to get that extra yardage in there to keep fighting for it. That's a great job right there by that receiver.
Xavier Hall is the back. It's first down and goal for New Mexico State at the 2. Do you just jam it or do you run an option here?
Option.
Tyler wants the football. Option. Keeps it. Turns it inside and gets a touchdown.
Oh.
No, he does not.
How?
His knee is down.
Oh,
he
wow.
fell into the end zone, but his knee was down. Both linesmen on both sides called the same thing.
I don't know how he moved that pile to begin with, though, right? So they had him dead and right there. So here he is about 2 or 3 yards
out. Down
yeah,
right
he's
there.
Down.
That's a good call. It's the right call. So it's second down and goal at the 1. Hall stays in, takes the handoff, and goes in for a New Mexico State touchdown. Xavier Hall's first touchdown of the season. 1-yard touchdown run for Hall, the senior out of Las Cruces, and the Aggies are within a score.
Nice up-tempo on that. So they knew they didn't get the first down on the Tyler keep on the option. This time it's just a quick give to Hall straight up the gut. Hall runs hard, had 6 rushes last week, pushes this one in for the TD.
Parker Davidson on for the extra point. He missed one earlier, hit the upright at the end of the first half, the right upright. This time the kick is up, and it is good. So we got a 2-point game again, just like we did at halftime.
Here we go.
2 minutes, 45 seconds to go. We are in the third quarter of an entertaining football game. New Mexico, 24. New Mexico State, 22. They've done this 106 times before. Hope you're enjoying this one right here on Aggie Vision.
Fantasy football ends here, but it started on the ESPN Fantasy app. It ends with this look on Tad's face, but it started on this app. It ends with the circle beard of shame, but it started on this app. And every once in a while, it ends like this. But even then, it started on this app. The new ESPN Fantasy app makes it easy to create, manage, and win your league. Download the ESPN Fantasy app and start your league today.
Back to Aggie Memorial Stadium. They're enjoying it. I hope you are as well. Jeff Symbieta, Danny Nee. Here on Aggie Vision, 24-22. New Mexico leads New Mexico State. Aggies just took the ball 63 yards in 14 plays. Xavier Hall scored from 1 yard out. It took him 5 minutes and 20 seconds to score. And we got a 2-point football game.
And we got a game, and I think they're still tuning in. They're still watching. I see that there's a watch party out in Dallas. A lot of players from that Dallas-Fort Worth area. The Apodakas are watching the New Mexico State Aggies on Aggie Vision. We appreciate that, and let's see if we can't keep this game close enough coming into this last quarter.
Terrion Gibson and Daryl Chestnut back to receive. Dom's watching in Alaska. Juan's watching in Atlanta. Wes is in Orlando. I'll get a bunch of you.
Yeah, right.
Micah's in College Station. Keep them coming at NMSU Aggie Vision on the Twitter. It's Terrion Gibson. Takes it at the 1 yard line. Terrion, explosive, bounces off a guy. Here we go. Terrion Gibson is loose. It's going to be a foot race, and he wins a lot of them. Terrion Gibson out of bounds in Aggie territory at the 44-yard line. What do they teach you, Danny? You don't just hit them, you got to wrap them up, right?
You got to wrap them up. So you got to grab Clapp. You got to do something. You got to be able to get there to make a play. In this case, this is just a bounce out. This is pure determination. When you get a kickoff, there's guys on the end. They're going to come down and move from the right to the left. You should see them there. They have to break down and make sure he doesn't bounce that off. That is someone's job right there, because the minute he turns a corner, especially someone like Gibson, he'll take it almost to the house.
And there's a flag on the play for a late hit. I think you're going to add another 15 to this thing, and then Lobos are going to be knocking on the door. Bob Davies said, "You're absolutely right. I had a great view from over here." Right?
The kicking team, number 19. 15-yard penalty.
I mean, that'll kill you.
That's too bad. You're right. So if you think about the last scoring drive by the Aggies, it was a penalty by the Lobos that kept the Aggies into it. In this case, they get a big break here, break outside, get a outside containment. Coach is still arguing his case. I don't think he's going to win it.
No, I guarantee you he won't win it. Austin Perk is the guilty party, and so here you go. You just got a little momentum, got to within 2 on a nice drive, and you can give him a big kickoff return and 15 on top, and they're set up at the 28-yard line. Owens and Chestnut. That's your combination running backs. They can run any combination. They're all pretty good. Chestnut gets it, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage by Cortland Busby. Maybe gained a yard, maybe not. Busby there to meet him right at the hole.
Cortland Busby just holding that gap. There's nothing pushing him away there, and he just makes a great tackle right there.
No gain, second down and 10 for New Mexico. Was last series the first 3 and out? Was that a 3 and out? No. They got a first down, and that's right. And then New Mexico threw on first and second down and wasn't able to convert, and then they had the third down and long. Chestnut and Owens again with Austin Apodaca, second down, 10. Austin's going to throw. Pressure, dumps it. That's a heck of a throw to Owens out of the backfield. Dalton Harrington wraps him up high. Right at the first down marker, 10-yard gain and a first down for the Lobos.
I'm not sure how Apodaca got that ball off. Lots of pressure coming from every angle there, and he just got in there. It looks like a little shuffle pass or something came in there. So we're coming from both sides from the Aggies' positions there. There's missed tackle there, just flips it right to the middle there, and Dalton Harrington with a big tackle.
Yep. Saw a couple jerseys being pulled, but it's only a penalty if they throw a flag, right?
That's right.
Woodhouse is in with Gibson. Daquan Woodhouse is now in, number 6. Apodaca keeps it on the option. Apodaca opted for the right decision, and he gets all the way down to the 4-yard line. Austin Apodaca is really running that option well and making a lot of good decisions.
So on that assignment defense that you have to look to on an option, someone has him and just bit on that give, and you have to sit out there, and it's hard because you can see the ball right there, and you're thinking, I can make a tackle. And in that case, he just pulled it out and kept it around the corner and big yard.
First down and goal for New Mexico at the 4. We're at 1 minute to go, third quarter. 24-22 Lobos. Woodhouse and Gibson are your backs. give is to Woodhouse. Up the middle, he goes nowhere. Met at the line of scrimmage. At the bottom was Dalton Harrington. Rodney Butler came up top to finish him off. Woodhouse gets back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and goal at the 4.
Looks like he's getting up a little gimpy.
Probably got one more play to go. That's Woodhouse who's going to the sideline. I look at the Burger Time play clock, and there's 16 on it, 19 on the game clock. Owens comes back in. He's with Gibson. The give is to Owens, dancing through the hole down to the 2-yard line. Jaden Wright came in to finish it off, and that's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. We'll start the 4th quarter on 3rd down and goal for the Lobos. They'll have the ball, and they will have the lead. We're going to the 4th quarter. We played 3 in Las Cruces. New Mexico 24, New Mexico State 22, right here on Aggie Vision.
Miss Rodriguez.
Welcome back to Aggie Memorial Stadium, ready to start the 4th quarter. Lobos leading the Aggies 24-22. Hey, Aggie fans, have you ever wanted to get to know the Aggies better? Well, now you can. Every month, NMSU and Aggie Vision will be taking you inside the lives of some of the best athletes to suit up in crimson. Check local listings for showtimes on Fox Sports Arizona, Fox College Sports Pacific, Altitude TV, and KRWG. Then catch an encore of the show on Aggie Vision's YouTube the next day. 3rd down and goal for New Mexico as they try to open this thing up a little bit more. They've got a 2-point lead, 24-22.
Yeah, you got to go to the guys that are really standing up and shining, and that's Butler. We talked about Butler. He's got 21 tackles. If there's ever a time he could pull one out, it would be now.
Look for number 3, Richard McQuarley. He scored once today. He's the big power back on the left side of Apodaca. They give it to McQuarley. Bouncing through the middle, rolling that hole, pushing to the goal line, and just short of the goal line.
Wow.
So New Mexico State stops him, and Bob Davies got a decision to make.
That was one
I think he's going to go for it.
I think so, too. That was one heck of a scrum right there. That's a nice stop up front there by the defense. You know, you hold your ground. You got to dig in there. You can't get stood up, because the minute you get stood up, you get driven back. Those guys did a great job in there. Nice push.
4th down and goal for New Mexico. Number 3 stays in the game. You give it to him again? Or do you think that everybody in the house thinks you're giving it to him? Do you fake it to him and have number 10 run around the edge?
And that's a nice play, too.
That may be up to number 10 to decide what to do. McQuarley's the up back. Gibson's with Apodaca. 4th and goal for New Mexico. Pitch to Gibson, who walks in for a New Mexico touchdown. Terrion Gibson. Well, then there's that option. You got that many good backs, you got that many good options, right?
You do. That Jacob Wonga out there on that has that pitch there, and he just bit on the minute he had that fake come in there. He came screaming in and left that pitch just wide open.
Terrion Gibson's 2nd touchdown of the night, his 4th touchdown of the season. And the Lobos took advantage of really, really good field position, courtesy of Terrion Gibson's return and the 15 yards tacked on for the late hit. And the Lobos answer the Aggies' touchdown with a touchdown of their own. Jason Sanders on to try to convert the extra point, make it a 9-point game. He does that. And it is 31-22.
Getting a little heated down there, and maybe rightfully so. I think the Aggies are getting a little frustrated.
No, they got to stop on the previous drive to New Mexico State's defense. Needed one there and didn't get one coming back. A few more you watching all around the country. Caleb's watching us in Buena Vista, California, Danny. James is in Maryland. Gerald's in Arkansas. Huh? They're all over the place watching you, Danny. Christopher's in South Carolina. Amy's in Texas. We thank all of you for tuning in tonight on Aggie Vision. Hope you're enjoying a good one. 7 plays, only 28 yards. Took him 3 minutes and 21 seconds to finish it off. A 1-yard touchdown run. Terrion Gibson cashed the check for New Mexico. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the night and his 4th rushing touchdown of the game.
And it all starts with the kickoff, special teams, right? So if you get you got the 3 aspects of the game, and if you can't win them all, you're going to have to win the ones you can. And so if they win the special teams piece of it, it makes a big difference. And certainly they did well on that last kick to set up that drive and score.
Taylor and Hogan back to receive for New Mexico State as Sanders set to put his boot into it again, and he does. It's going to be Tron Taylor coming up on it. Takes it at the 11-yard line. Across the 20. Taylor out to the 30-yard line. They got good field position, does New Mexico State. Garrett Hughes rushing down to make the tackle for the Lobos. And a big drive for the Aggies again as the wind. It feels like the wind kind of picked up, doesn't it?
All of a sudden it did.
The wind to the back of the Aggies. Gibson, 11 carries tonight, 59 yards. Their leading rusher is Tyrone Owens, who's 14 for 75. Rogers continues to lead New Mexico State's rushers. No need to panic. You got almost 14 minutes to go, but it's a pretty big drive for the New Mexico State offense. Xavier Hall takes the handoff. Nice run by Xavier, 5 yards. Out to the 35-yard line on first down. You take 5 on first down, won't you?
First down is a very important down because if you get 5 on first down, that makes those second and third downs very easier to convert into a first.
Hall stays in. Slot receivers both sides, 2 to the right, 2 to the left for Tyler. Keeps it, looks near side, throws over the middle. It is caught. First down, that is O.J. Clark for New Mexico State. Out across the 45 to the 46.
Little up-tempo here. I like the last play action. You move through there, you look at who's covered, who's open. Clark was the only one open, and he hit him across the middle.
Hall stays in, the senior on the right hip of Tyler Rogers. Fake to him. Tyler wants to throw again. They roll the pocket to the right, throw it over the middle, and it's caught again. And this time it looks like, is that Boone? It is. No, it's Scott. Jaleel Scott. 6'6" worth of Jaleel Scott.
So he got
a flag on the play in the backfield.
Oh, that's tough. Hey, that's a tough hit. I'm glad Scott, if you remember last week, he dropped one. It was a key on a third down play last week.
Roughing the passer on New Mexico's Garrett Hughes, and there's a Lobo down in the secondary. So they're going to add 15 yards to this play. I can't see the number on who's down. It's Ryan Santos. The senior safety is down back here about the 20-yard line. So the Aggies are on the ball. I don't know if they realize that there's a player down, and now I think they do, and so they're going to get a water break out there. But there's Santos, and they're looking at that.
I sure didn't see anything that happened. There was no one tied up, it looked like.
So is that a cramping issue as they rub the calf? Is that what you would think?
I think it is.
Man, those hurt, don't they? I mean, I don't care if they're in the middle of the night or on the middle of a football field. Cramps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
they do.
Anybody who's ever had one,
they'll bring you down.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So the Aggies are going to get a chance to come over and discuss things. So a big play on roughing the passer penalty. Haven't been a lot of penalties in this game.
There's been a few, not a lot, but there's
big
been,
ones.
But
I mean, the ones
big one, they're key. Right,
yeah.
Right, no doubt about it. Hey, what about Scott's catch across the middle there? He took a little pop and he hung on to that ball.
You know,
I
he's
like
the
to
guy.
see that.
When Doug Martin talks about his receiving core, and they lost Teldrick Morgan, who transferred, who was really, really good. But and he likes O.J. Clark. But Scott at 6'6" and 215 is a guy that they look at, and you say we got a big target out there to throw to. By all indications, he's got some speed and he's got some hands, and they're looking for big things from him. Hall's the back now. First down for the Aggies at the 28. Clock has started to move again at 12:55. Fourth quarter, 31-22 Lobos. Tyler pumps and he's dropped. He is dropped by Nick Giovanzo. The big senior came flying in from that end position. Fourth sack of the night for New Mexico. Aggies didn't give up a sack last year. 4-9, you'll see Giovanzo coming in right up the middle.
And he just didn't have enough to kind of keep him out of the play there. And there was just the pattern took too long to develop, and he had to hold on to that thing for a long time.
Giovanzo beats Sebastian Anderson, the redshirt freshman, who's playing out at right tackle. We got another whistle. We got a timeout. It's an official timeout. I guess they need water too, right? They need love. So a 30-second timeout. But yeah, that was the freshman, Anderson, who got beat by a senior in Diavanzo. And you know, Diavanzo's probably looking across the line, loving that, right?
Right.
I mean, that's a big boy now, freshman, 6'6", 290 yards. But that's a big loss for New Mexico State. 8 yards on the loss. Backs them up to the 36-yard line. Second down, 18 for the Aggies on a pretty big drive for them. Down by 9.
Yeah, an important down right here. So you don't have to get all of that back in one shot, but you do have to take a big chunk of it right now, and you got to get rid of the ball a little faster than we have.
Fakes to Hall. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, running to the near side. Trying to run away, and he cannot. That is number 33, Alex Hart, who went down earlier. You saw him come back, obviously, and pretty good speed by the sophomore to track down Rogers. It's a loss of 1, and it's third down and 19 for New Mexico State, and they're kind of in no man's land. Is this 4-down territory right here?
Well, it's getting close.
Unless you go backwards.
It's getting close. Look, the last play is part of that is on the receivers to get back and get open, because they didn't.
Coming up on 11.5 minutes to go. Rogers, pressure, throws over the middle. It is complete. That's going to be enough for a first down and then some. All the way down to the 11-yard line, Isaiah Lottie, his second catch of the day, and a big one.
That is huge.
For the freshman out of Denver.
That is huge. You do a little post pattern at the top. You see him come across the middle there and just split the defense. I don't know if they caught him in a zone or what they were doing, but that was just a nice catch right across the middle.
Aggies are 7 for 14 on third down. That's when the Lobo defense is going to rue when they go back and look at it, giving up a big third down and long conversion. Pass. Oh, boy, there's I.B. Brown. He's laying the wood, isn't he?
He is.
He hit Jaleel Scott. The ball was thrown behind Jaleel, and I.B. Brown was there to make sure he knew about it.
He jumped that. Now, so that's good and bad. Good for the Lobos because there's a nice pop in there. Here's the thing about that, though. That puts it open for a little pump fake in there if you can get by him. But here you can see a little pop as he came in there and said no. And not only that, he pushes his arms up in there and rips that ball out. There's no way he's going to catch that.
Caldwell's the back. They give it to him, and he's brought down from behind. That is one heck of a play by Austin Ocasio, coming off the weak side linebacker position to get to the speedy Caldwell from behind.
That's a big tackle right there.
Ocasio, the junior, he's a kid out of Babylon, New York, came all the way out to New Mexico, and that's a heck of a play by him. So here's third down and 12 now. The Aggies can get a first down at about the 2. Tyler sends 3 receivers to the right, 1 receiver all the way out to the near side. That's Hogan. He's being pressured. Throws. It is incomplete. Nias Martin once again defending on Jonathan Boone. You got to take the 3 now, don't you?
Yeah, I think you do. And there's nothing he can do there. Boone was sitting there, but Martin had him the whole time, and Tyler just couldn't even try to sneak it in there. Lots of pressure on Tyler. Didn't have time to kind of look around the field. Had to get rid of it early.
Parker Davidson comes on for the field goal attempt. It'll be 30 yards. He's hit from 44. He's hit from 40. And he's hit from 36. This one's got plenty of leg, and it is good. So Parker Davidson, 30-yard field goal, and it brings the Aggies to within 1 score. 10 minutes, 12 seconds to go. Fourth quarter in Las Cruces. It's a good one. The Lobos lead the Aggies 31-25. The Aggies 31-25, 10 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Tonight's game on Aggie Vision is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Hey, Aggie fans, do more with your Aggie ID card. Link it to a Wells Fargo everyday checking account for optional 1-card banking convenience. Speak to a Wells Fargo banker at 2505 El Paseo Road or any nearby Wells Fargo retail banking store to find out more. Wells Fargo says, go Aggies.
So, Jeff, on the yardage, total yardage, UNM 299, New Mexico 258. Got a lot of offense tonight.
Yeah, a lot of offense in a lot of offense on the ground. Tyler Rogers, 183 yards through the air, and you would expect New Mexico to have a lot of offense on the ground, and they do. That last Aggie drive, 30-yard field goal, 10 plays, 57 yards. It took him 3:47 to do it. I got to believe Parker Davidson was told to kick it through the end zone, but I guess not. Not with the wind at his back. And there's Terrion Gibson again. Terrion Gibson across the 20 and about to the 25-yard line.
Wow, that was close right there.
You know, he had a great return on the last kickoff prior to this, and you said to me during the breaks, you need to kick it to him, and I looked at the flags blowing. I mean, it looks like 20-mile-an-hour winds. I said, you kick this thing through the end zone, don't you? I guess not.
Hey, well, the defense, we talked about D'ing up and playing big, getting up there. Look at Ronnie Butler. Ronnie Butler's he's in on 21 tackles tonight. 21
tackles.
Hey,
he's been everywhere.
And he's got a few more because we still got 10 minutes in the fourth quarter here.
31-25. Lobos have the ball. Daryl Chestnut and Tyrone Owens are the backs behind Austin Apodaca, who's gone most of the way, was knocked out of a drive in the first half, came back to finish that drive. Gives it to Chestnut, who runs hard right up the middle, out to 30, maybe the 31-yard line, just across the 30-yard line. Jacob Nwanga's at the bottom of that pile for New Mexico State. 5-yard gain on first down, second down 5 for the Lobos.
It's a great push by the Lobos up front there. The Aggies got to figure out a way to just dig in there and not let them just get those creases that allows that 5 yards on that first down.
You're Bob DeBest and the Lobos. Just keep running and running that clock down. Keep banging at them. You figure the front four for the Aggies got to be worn down a little bit. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gambling in motion. The give is to Owens. Cut down at the line, and that's a heck of a play right there by Stody Bradley. Coming off of that left end, was able to get the feet of Owens right at the ankles and drop him at the line of scrimmage.
That's huge right there, and I think Butler came in there to get in on another one there. So, yeah, absolutely. Stody came across there, and that's nice. That's what we need. You need more of that.
Here you go. I mean, a little energy in the stadium now on 3rd down and 5, and the Aggies can stop him here, and it gets real interesting. New Mexico is 3 of 7 on 3rd downs tonight. They got to make the 35-yard line for a first down here. Gibson off to the right hip. McQuarley on the left side. Apodaca's going to throw. He does, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Terrell Hanks, and the Aggies have forced another turnover.
Jeff, I'm really, tell me you're not shocked just a bit that he threw the ball.
Totally.
Right? So you have been owning the Aggie defensive line in the fort so far, but they come out here and maybe he thought, I'll just catch him sleeping on that. Certainly no one was sleeping, so not even a play action, just brings the ball up and just pops it out there. Is that Terrell Hanks?
Terrell Hanks just jumps in front of Matt Quarles, the intended receiver, the linebacker, and I don't think Austin saw him. I just don't think he saw him.
I don't think so either.
All right, so the Aggies are set up. They're down by 6. First down and goal at the 27. Turnover battle tonight. The Aggies are leading that 2-0. They're down by 6 on the scoreboard. Handoff is to Hall. He breaks a couple of tackles and gets himself 8 yards, maybe 9, across the 20 and into the red zone.
Lots of excitement in the stadium. Haven't felt that in a good long while here. So nice run by Hall to push it in there. And got another Lobo down on the field.
It's Lee Crosby, senior nickelback. It's not hot, right? I mean, it's warm. There's a breeze. And I'm not saying you only cramp when it's hot. That's not what I'm saying at all. You tend to see a lot of cramping when it's really hot. And
yeah, hot and humid you see a lot. Not so much now, but so it's interesting that this has been a few times.
So it slows the pace down, and maybe, I mean, I don't want to say takes the momentum out of the building, because I don't think it does. I think once they set the ball for play again, this Aggie crowd will get back up. Hall's your leading rusher. Is that right for New Mexico State now? Hall's got 40 yards on 7 carries and the touchdown. It's an average of 5.7. Let's see what happens if you find number 5. There he is on the left side of your screen.
Look at
That's Crosby, I mean, number 5.
And look at the push. Look at the push by the Aggie offense. We talked about the Lobos owning the line of scrimmage. In this case, the New Mexico State Aggies, they owned the line of scrimmage. They had the Lobos up on their heels, pushing them back. And I think Hall could have went left or right. In the right side, there was also a big hole up the middle as well.
It's Lee Crosby still down. They're working that right calf. Yeah, I'm never going to guess on injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's cramping or not, or if it's something more. But calf injuries, dude, it's flat out painful. If you've ever popped one, if you've ever cramped on one, you know what I'm talking about. Got a couple more, Matt and Scott. Hey, look at that. They're watching in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Hey,
on Aggie Vision.
Can you imagine that? I know I've had quite a few texts from the Knee Clan out there in Albuquerque trying to tell us how it's getting done or should be done, and not so easy all the time, but thanks for watching.
Listen to this one. The World Wide Web is a wonderful thing. You know where Matt's watching? Tokyo. What's up, Matt? What time is it in Tokyo? It's got to be tomorrow, right? Like he's living in tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's the score? Do you know the final?
Matt,
did
we win, Matt?
Rhonda's watching in Canada. We thank you all for watching wherever you are on Aggie Vision tonight. Keep them coming at Aggie Vision or at MSU Aggie Vision. Second down and 2 for New Mexico State. Hall stays in as the running back. Aggies need about the 17 for a first down. Actually, that's Gertie. Gertie is the running back. Jamar Gertie. Plenty of time on the play clock. What does Tyler do here? Keeps it. Weaves his way for a first down, New Mexico State.
Looks like
Garrett Hughes was in on the tackle for the Lobos.
End up with
and a flag on the play. That's probably coming back.
Offense, number 55 and 26.
It's the freshman Sebastian Anderson. So that negates the first down. It will remain second down and backs him up. Like I said, not a ton of penalties, but the penalties that have been called. And let's just say the penalties have been committed. I'm not just saying called. Both ways have been big penalties at big time. So instead of first down inside the 15, you have second down and a long way to go, and you're backed all the way up to the 34-yard line. That is a huge penalty. Hall comes back in. Tyler rolls the pocket to the right, looks to throw back to the left. It is complete out about the 20-yard line. That is Xavier Hall, the wheelwright out of the backfield.
You know, and Coach, you remember talking to Coach at halftime where he said we missed a wheel route? I know it's one he was talking about too, where we had the completion, but we missed the guy coming out of the backfield there. In this case, we did get Hall on the wheel route coming out of the backfield. 3rd and 3, Kimmy Carson on the tackle for the Lobos. Tyler gives it to Xavier. Hall pounds his way to the first down. I believe he did. Wow.
Hart and Carson on the tackle, but a first down for Xavier Hall, who is really playing. Is this the best game you've seen him play as an Aggie?
It has, and he is running with determination. I like that offensive line too, but Hall certainly knows where he is on the field, trying to get as many yards as he can.
First down, 10, New Mexico State at the 16, coming up on 7 minutes to go. Lobos lead 31-25. 10 to get the playoff. Tyler gives it to Hall, who's got some room, cuts back inside, gets down near the 10-yard line, a gain of 6, and it'll be second down and 4 for the Aggies.
How about the confidence in that run? Is that just great? He gets to the corner there, and Wright finds where he's going to come and cut, and just makes a quick cut to pick up 5 yards.
Hall stays in. I'm going to tell you, I like these numbers on their helmets, especially on this side. Tyler keeps it. Rogers dragged down, probably a yard or 2 short. Donnie White was the guy who wasn't fooled. The linebacker for New Mexico makes the play, and it's going to be 3rd down and 2 for the Aggies. I got to believe this is 4-down territory, right?
Yeah, absolutely. With 6 minutes in the 4th.
We've got the referee. The clock is stopped at 6:11. A lot of people waving their arms in the air, wearing striped shirts. And now we're going to play football again. Doug Martin doesn't like something.
There's someone else got a cramp over there. Yeah,
he went to the sideline. That's Austin Ocasio. And Doug Martin saying, hey, they're just trying to slow us down. Is that what he's saying?
But that's exactly what he's saying. And you can hear the crowd up into it. So how many times have we seen a cramp all of a sudden, right? So is it a cramp? Probably so, but he was walking to the sidelines, and then here's Tyler on the keeper right there. So now we have the just missed. It was
Candelaria that missed the block on Donnie White, which would have sprung him.
And he needed to be a little more inside on that to get that inside out rather than outside in. But after that play.
All right, 3rd down and 2. The Aggies need the 6-yard line for a first down. Hall stays in with Tyler Rogers, who's your quarterback. Clock ticks down to 6 minutes to go Fourth quarter of a 6-point rivalry game. Rodgers going to throw to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown by Greg Hogan. What a
shoulder
catch by
throw.
Hogan.
That was a nice throw right there by Tyler to the back shoulder. So you'll see this back shoulder where actually it's going to be Hogan that's going to turn around there and catch that. Now you can see the top of the screen. He's kind of slanting across. Tyler throws it to his upfield shoulder. Outside, there it is right there. He turns around and makes just a great catch.
Boy, that is a great catch.
And nice
the
pass
coverage
as well.
was good. They go back
good
shoulder, and it's a heck of a throw. Aggies are going to go for the extra point. 1 point to put them on top. Of course they are. Parker Davidson comes on. They're waiting for confirmation from the replay booth that it is a touchdown. That's why you see your referee who says it is good. And let's go ahead and kick this extra point, boys. So Davidson to put the Aggies on top. Huh? It is good.
There we go.
And New Mexico State has their first lead of the night. 5 minutes, 46 seconds to go in the fourth quarter of a rivalry game. I'd say don't go anywhere, but where are you going to go? I know you're sticking around for what should be a fantastic finish. Aggies lead the Lobos 32-31 on Aggie Vision.
For Vegas style
State, their first lead of the night, 32-31. Danny, here's how the Aggies have scored today.
Yeah, it's the
Jaleel
big pass.
Scott.
Jaleel Scott across the middle there. Nice catch by the big guy.
Xavier Hall, the senior who is playing the best game I've seen him play as an Aggie. And then this is the one that put him on top. And look at the back shoulder throw and a catch by Greg Hogan. And it wasn't bad coverage by Nias Martin.
No, he was there.
So the Aggies have scored on UNM turnovers. They've scored a touchdown and an interception. 2 turnovers by New Mexico tonight. None thus far by New Mexico State. Terrion Gibson, Daryl Chestnut back to receive the kickoff from Parker Davidson. The wind is behind Davidson. He's going to let him return it again, maybe. Nope. He's going to put it through the end zone. And a touch back, and New Mexico will start this possession at their 25-yard line.
You got to D up. You got to, at the beginning of the game.
There's a flag back here at the 40-yard line.
Are we offsides?
Well, it can only be somebody was. That's where New Mexico was, right? The kick comes from the. Let's see what you got. I mean, that would be another bummer of a penalty if you're New Mexico State. And that's just
really.
It's Austin Perkins again. That's 2 special team penalties. That just gives him 5 more yards.
That's just tough right there. Now it's hard. So now in your situation, you got to pooch it, right? You got to drop it in. Let's see.
What do you see? Oh, right there in the middle.
Yep.
Just off this side of the hash mark.
Yeah.
All right, so the Lobos now, for the first time since the first quarter of their first game, which was last week, trail in a football game. It's 32-31. They responded really well last week. Let's see what they do now. Gibson and Owens, the setbacks. That's Owens who takes the handoff and is greeted at the line by Rodney Butler. And Deshaunte Lloyd. Actually, it was Lloyd. I saw I thought 5'3", it was 6'3". Deshaunte Lloyd plugging that hole.
Deshaunte's looking big in there too, right? So if there's ever a time where you got to
he is 6'1", 325, Danny.
Yeah, so that he is all of that. And if there's ever a time that Deshaunte and team has to dig their heels in, it's now. Up front, they got to have a big push and just hold their gaps up there.
Gibson, lone setback for now. Apodaca to throw. Aggies haven't got at him yet, and that's complete over the middle. Nice catch by Damian Gamblin. It'll be enough for a first down for the Lobos out to the 42-yard line.
Yeah,
as we hit 5:01.
Yeah, that's a nice throw in there. You know, coverage was right in there too, and Austin just threaded that.
Tremendous protection too. Apodaca throwing the football today. 9 of 17 in the 1 interception. Owens and Gibson now in an I formation. They show a lot of looks to you, too. That's Terrion Gibson. dragged down right about the 45-yard line. Rodney Butler, the first guy there again.
What is that, like 23, 4 tackles of Rodney Butler? If Rodney Butler doesn't grab this shoestring, grab this leg, they're off to the races again. So here it is, Rodney Butler right there sneaking underneath that.
He's not there, you're right. 3 yards on the first down play for New Mexico. Wow. So the Lobos have second down and 7 as the clock ticks down to 4:10 to go in the fourth quarter of a rivalry game. Feel it in here? I mean, nobody's left. There's no red lights leaving the parking lots. There's nothing. Everybody is sticking around. Owens and Gibson again. 2 setbacks for Apodaca. He's going to throw. Over the middle, he's got a man. It is caught and then knocked away. They went to Walsh again, the tight end. Michael Walsh got hit and got separated from the football.
Yeah, so second one tonight for Michael, which is too bad. Great guy, but let's see what happens here. He comes out. You see him at the top of the screen, kind of sneaking out across there. He goes right through the middle. He's one-on-one with the linebacker. He's got Butler. He's got Butler beat. And he just couldn't go. Was it a little back behind him, or just did he just jungle it? Did he just...
It looked like as he was catching it, the hand came in and knocked it
out.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Well, here we are,
third down and 7. Can the Aggies get off the field? Conversions tonight for New Mexico. 3 of 8. Gibson's the lone back with it. They need to get to the 48-yard line of New Mexico State. Over the middle, caught. Gibson dropped 3 yards short of the first down. Terrion Gibson on the play. Butler there again with Cortland Busby for the Aggies.
Wow.
With 3.5 minutes to go, you're Bob Davie. What are you going to do?
I think he's going to go. He's going to stay in there. He's going to keep going. And I think that's Butler again that came screaming in there.
Butler and Busby.
Yeah, Butler and Busby.
Take a look at it. It's Gibson out of the backfield.
Just a quick little shot in there. Butler closes in a hurry and just hangs on.
All right, here you go.
Fourth.
They need the 48-yard line. Gibson's the setback. 4th down and 2 for New Mexico. Apodaca, short drop, near side, caught, first down, and Lobos. First down, New Mexico to keep the drive alive.
Jonathan Hood out there in coverage here. It's hard because you want to not give them any distance between you when you're covering them, but you got to give them a little bit because you don't want them to run by you for 6, and that which makes it hard.
Was it Quarles? 19? I couldn't see the number on the play. I think it was Quarles on the near side. Yeah, on the catch. So a big 4th down conversion for the Lobos. It was Chris Davis. It was 18, not 19. Davis's first catch of the night. Gibson and Owens. Austin's going to throw again. Throws deep, far side, incomplete, looking for Reed. Bounced it into him. And it's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Lobos.
Interesting play call. Okay, so you asked about cramps. Here we go. So
that's Shamad Lomax, who was defending for the Aggies, the nickelback. Man, a lot of calves, huh?
A lot of calves. So let's talk about that pass, though. If you're UNM, you've been owning the line of scrimmage, right? So it came out with a big pass here. Maybe they think that they were going to catch the Aggies sleeping a bit.
Maybe. I mean, they've been running the ball really well. But I'll tell you, Austin's made some good throws on this drive. Austin Apodaca has. I thought it was a big throw to Chris Davis. And they've got so many weapons, right? And they spread the ball around. They love their receivers, the Lobos do, and they should. They've got some playmakers out there. I think Gamblin's really, really good. Maybe their best one is redshirting this year. But they've got weapons. Reed and Harris and Davis and Gamblin and Brennan and Quarles. A lot of places to go, just like they got so many weapons in the backfield. And that was, I think that's part of what makes New Mexico so hard to defend. There's a weapon right there. That's Lamar Jordan, the other quarterback.
Right, no doubt.
So they've got him everywhere, and I think that's part of what makes them so hard to defend because they used to be predictable, and I don't think they are anymore.
So from a defensive perspective, I look at Rodney Butler. We keep seeing his numbers climb and climb and climb. 24 tackles, Jeff. 24 tackles. The heart and soul of that defense, and if he ever needs to really let it show, it'd be now.
2nd down, 10. Keep this in mind, and we talked about this at the beginning of the half. The wind is blowing The Lobos are going into the wind if we think about a field goal as we come down to this. I know they want more than that. Gibson stays in the game. There's 3 receivers left. One right for Apodaca, who now pressured for the first time. They haven't got him yet, and they get him for the first time. First sack for New Mexico State today.
What a time for Coach Spaziani to it's like, don't get him off the field. Get back on the field.
Derek Watson comes off the edge.
To dial that pressure, now's the time to do it, and here they come. So here you at the top of the screen, you can see it kind of just sneak in right there. Kind of a delayed blitz on that. Missed him the first time, but he had to start scrambling around.
Derek Watson, number 18, 3rd down, 15 for the Lobos. Gibson's the back with Apodaca. They got 2 plays to get the first down because it's 4th down territory. They got to get to the 35. Apodaca throws. It is almost intercepted.
Oh, it hit him in a bad spot. Right in his
the hands of DeMarcus Owens, the Oklahoma transfer.
There you go, Jeff. There's an arrow to kill them, huh? Right? That's tough right there.
So it's now down to 4th and 15. Never mind getting off the field on 3rd down. If you can get off the field on 4th down, you're probably going to win the football game. Oh, you're right. Did Gamble get a hand on it to knock it away?
Well, they could have been. If we couldn't see from this angle, but you may be right. If you got a hand in there, it's just not an easy catch. Here we go.
This place is going a little bit nuts. Look at this Aggie sideline, bouncing up and down. This could be, well, let's see. It's a big play for both teams, obviously, but for this Aggie defense to get off the field and see what they can do. They need the 35-yard line, and there's a timeout being called by New Mexico to figure out exactly what they want to do. So Bob Davie burns his 2nd timeout. He will have 1 left. 1:37 to go. You've got a quarterback who's made a lot of good decisions. He's going to have the ball in his hands when we come back. There's 1:37 left to go. 4th quarter. It's a rivalry game. New Mexico State leads New Mexico 32-31. It'll be 4th and 15 for the Lobos when we come back on Aggie Vision. Thing that they needed him to be.
And he's a hard-hitting guy, the leader of that team there, the heart and soul, and he has just a bunch of tackles in here. But not only is it tackles, but it's a hard-hitting tackle, and that's what the Aggies need. They need to find someone that they can really get behind and just follow, and he's the man.
Well, they need one more big play out of him. It is 4th down. The Lobos are 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. 4th and 15. Aggies lead by a point. 1:37 to go, 4th quarter. Lobos need to get to the 35-yard line to keep their drive alive. They're 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions tonight. Austin Apodaca throws. Terrion Gibson's loose. He's at the 40. He needs a few more yards. He's going to be stopped short. There is a flag down in the backfield. There's an Aggie with his helmet off. It is Noah Brown. There's a flag down in the offensive backfield. If it is on New Mexico, the Aggies will get the ball. We got a player down as well.
Oh, it sure went quiet here in a minute. Let's see. We can see what happened.
Somebody's really hurt, it looks like, because players don't react. And it's Terrion Gibson, isn't it? Goodness gracious.
I don't know.
There he is at the bottom of that. He had the ball.
Yes. But I don't.
The penalty is against New Mexico. So the Aggies are going to have the football and it be 1:28 away from winning the football game. Aggies haven't beat the Lobos in the last 4 tries. Lobos have won 10 out of the last 13. There was a weird stat I saw, Danny, as we watched them tend to Terrion Gibson. There was a stat I saw coming in. And these things over time have a way of just building themselves. No coach had ever started his career 5-0 against New Mexico, and that's what Bob Davie was trying to do. I'm thinking, wow, there's a reason those things don't happen. There's Terrion Gibson, and this is huge right here.
Yeah.
Him walking off the field, and here's the injury.
Let's see what happened. There's Butler in there trying to pick up his 25th or 6th tackle.
You surprised by the play call, by the way?
Not so much, because they were dropping deep, and so they were going to get the ball underneath and trying to get him to run. And he was in open space, so if there was a guy you wanted to have the ball in open space, wouldn't it be him? I still didn't see
no doubt. There's no doubt.
I still didn't see the what happened there.
All right, so here's the deal. The Lobos have 1 timeout left. 1 timeout. There's 1:28 to go. Aggies have the ball and a 1-point lead. And the instructions are hold on to the football, Xavier Hall. They give it
both
to him
hands.
for 2 yards.
For both hands. You're going to give it to the most seasoned running back who's had
Lobos
a great game.
kicked their last time out. No, this is as good a game as I've seen Xavier Hall play in an Aggie uniform. So that's the last Lobo timeout. Trying to do the math to see if the Aggies are going to have to kick if they don't get a first down. And I think they're going to have to. That's Kevin Cosgrove. He's the defensive coordinator for New Mexico, calling his defense over.
You know, if there was ever a time where we needed Hall to have one of his best games, this would be it. And I think you're right when you said this is just a great game. Just the wherewithal of knowing where you are on the field, getting the first down, driving hard for TDs.
Lobos next week will go to Rutgers, play in the Big Ten country. Aggies next week will go play an SEC team, play Kentucky. Second down for the Aggies. Hall again, near side. If he gets a first down, this thing's over.
He's got to stay in bounds.
He does stay in bounds, I believe, and I think he got a first down.
Oh, no.
Well, they're waving their hands to stop the clock because it is a New Mexico State first down, and I think now they go into victory formation.
That's right. I think you're right.
I think the Aggies just won the football game.
I think everyone has just come to that
realization. There's a lot of people below us that I think are fairly stunned. But New Mexico State, who hasn't gone under center all game, is in the victory formation.
Wow.
It's a shotgun victory formation, but a victory formation nonetheless. They just tried to get Doug Martin with the Gatorade, and he ran away. The Aggies are going to win the rivalry game. Anywhere from 11.5 to, I think, 13.5, 14-point dogs coming in.
You know,
look, tell me across the country. Look at those players in crimson. Tell me this game doesn't mean anything. Tell me this game doesn't mean something. I tell people all year.
Coach Spaziani right there at the bottom walking out. You see Coach Vance right there.
One last snap. Rogers takes a knee.
Wow.
The Aggies have beat the Lobos. 32-31 will be your final. New Mexico State snaps a 4-year losing streak to the Aggies. It's the first time they've won in the last 5 tries.
You know,
Bob Davie tastes defeat to the Lobos for the first time. Doug Martin enjoys a victory. So Bob Davie loses to the Aggies for the first time, and Doug Martin beats the Lobos for the first time.
You know, at the beginning of the game, when we're heading down to this weekend, and someone's asking, and I kept saying, you know what? If we're going to win, we're going to have to D up. There's just no two ways about it. And I think right at the end here, that's D'ing up. That's a great job by that defense. Not to take away from the offense. The offense played stellar. They did awesome in trying to get back and keeping points on the board. D, super job up front there.
Look at these guys and tell me it doesn't mean anything. Tell me what this means for this program. Danny, I don't know if this is a program-defining moment, a victory. They needed this so badly. They had not beat either of their rivals. UTEP's beat them 8 in a row. Lobos have beat them 4 in a row. They just beat a team who was in a bowl game last year.
It's a good team.
Who I think is a good team.
Yeah.
The Lobos are a good football team, and they did it without Larry Rose and without Derek Ebekwe.
So here's what it means, Jeff. The coaches talk about you got to be buying into this. You got to believe it, and they keep saying, you know what? We're having a hard time getting them to believe it. We think we're on the right track. We think we're there. Now when they get one of these key, very important wins, I think you become a believer, and all of a sudden it changes the mindset, and it helps you get to the next level.
It's a huge win. I think Aggie fans all over the state were saying, yeah, but. You know, they've been listening to Doug Martin talk about how, and I've talked about this a lot, I know you have. We've seen progress. You could see that they've gotten better. They needed a big win that meant something. They needed a big win over a rival, over somebody that, quote, unquote, they were not supposed to beat.
Right.
They got that tonight, and I know it's going to feel really good for them. For the Lobos, they're going to move on and play next week against Rutgers. Doug Martin's first victory against the Lobos. Doug, that's got to feel – it's okay to smile, Doug. Congratulations.
I think I'm too exhausted to smile, but I'm really proud of our team. You can see the heart and the character that these guys have. They got a great team chemistry right now. This could be something special for us. We need our fans to get on board with this one.
I just asked Danny, what does this mean for the program? I don't know if it's a program-defining victory, but I know you and this team really needed something like this.
Well, you'll know in time. I mean, if we can continue to win after this, then we'll look back and this game will be something that we'll say that was the one that got us going. because we got the talent to win here. We did this without Larry Rose. Our kids believe right now.
Hey, Coach Danny Nee, I just want to say one thing. I'm very proud of your coaching staff and your players, and I hope you tell them from all former players that we are very, very proud of that bunch.
Danny, I appreciate it. We're all a part of it. Thank you, buddy.
That defense was something special, Doug. Congratulations. Go enjoy this one. Doug Martin wins for the first time against the Lobos. 32-31 is the final. We're going to come back and show you how it happened and wrap this thing up. Look at Danny Nee, the former Aggie great. Look at former Aggie great. Danny Nee. It's okay to smile. It's over in Las Cruces. The rivalry of enchantment goes to the Aggies. They beat the Lobos 32-31 on Aggie Vision. Joe's on Fox Sports Arizona, Fox College Sports Pacific, Altitude TV, and KRWG, and then catch an encore of the show on Aggie Vision YouTube channel the very next day. How's that feel, former Aggie great? Beat the Lobos and to beat them in that fashion, it's pretty big, huh?
It's big. You know, and we said it in the open, is that if there was one game that I was always targeting that, you know, absolutely I'd want to win more than anyone, this one. And so to have the program take this step, get this win, I am so very proud of them. I think they did a great job, and what a great game tonight.
And I don't think New Mexico hangs their head. I thought New Mexico played a pretty good game. I think New Mexico State defense, and I don't know that I thought we'd be here at the end of the day saying New Mexico State's defense stepped up and really made some plays in the second half to win. Take a look and see how we got to 32-31, New Mexico State beating the Lobos here, and the Aggies were double-digit dogs coming in, and early on it was a whole lot of University of New Mexico, and they did on the ground. Terrion Gibson was very, very good, and he is always very, very good. That's the first of his couple touchdowns tonight. Terrion had a great day, and so did Austin Apodaca, their quarterback, I thought.
Austin Apodaca had a fabulous game. You see one here. He's taking the ball. He's going to get right in, take it into the score. What a great game.
At that point, after the Apodaca score was 14-3 Lobos. Now, this is a big play. Dalton Harrington rips the ball loose. That was the first of 2 turnovers. The Aggies got a field goal off of that one, and then they went to work through the air. This is right before halftime. Within 30 seconds to go, Royce Caldwell with a big big reception. Aggies scored a touchdown off that. They got to within 2 at the halftime. Right after half, third quarter, Richard McCorley scores for New Mexico. The McCorley touchdown made it 24-15. Xavier Hall came back.
Xavier Hall, we talked about what a great game he's had. He had a great game.
This really turned it. That's Terrell Hanks, the linebacker for New Mexico State, with the interception, and it led to a touchdown that put the Aggies on top. Look at this catch by Greg Hogan.
It was a back shoulder throw that we talked about. Great throw, great catch by Hogan, and that was what really helped us.
And then this really put it away. Xavier Hall, I thought tonight was terrific. I said the young man from Las Cruces, I thought, had his best game that I've seen him play. 11 carries, 61 yards in the absence of Larry Rose III. Somebody, Doug Martin said it this week, somebody's got to step up. It's next man up. We're not going to make excuses. If our leading rusher is out, somebody's got to step. Xavier Hall did tonight.
Hall did, and you can tell just by his senior leadership on that last carry. He knew where he was. He got the first down, stayed in bounds, got down, and then helped him solidify the win.
All right, the Whataburger play of the game. If I told you again it was going to be New Mexico State's defense, would you have told me I was nuts early? Terrell Hanks, the linebacker, who Rodney Butler was your player of the game, but Terrell Hanks was the play of the game.
No doubt. Terrell Hanks right here spies this one, steps in front, gets the pick, which really turned the tide for us to get that last score we needed. And there you see it right there. I don't think he saw him. I think that's what you called it when he saw it, and boom, Terrell Hanks just steps in front and makes the play.
All right. Take a look at the final stats, and New Mexico had a lot of yards rushing, as you would expect, 220 yards rushing. Overall, Lobos 336 yards of offense, the Aggies 307 yards of offense. I think turnovers is pretty big. In a one-point game, the Aggies got 10 points off of the 2 Lobo turnovers.
You know, coaches always talk about the turnovers and what turnovers do to a team. Clearly, the turnovers tonight really hurt New Mexico.
Yep. Rodney Butler was special tonight. You talked about him in the open, the New Mexico State's senior linebacker. It was in the hole all night and really made it tough for the Lobo running backs and their quarterback to find the holes to get through. I thought he was special tonight.
No doubt about it. 24 tackles. He was everywhere on the field, right? So he was a leader, and they really needed someone on the defensive side to D up, stand up, play big. Rodney Butler did.
And for the Lobos, they go on to Rutgers. I think the Lobos are a really good football team. This one's going to sting, but I think they turn it around. I think they get a shot on the road next week in Big Ten.
I do. I think they're a very good football team, well coached, no doubt about it.
And the Aggies go to SEC territory. Next week they will play the University of Kentucky, and they're going to go into that game 1-1 after a victory over their arch rivals from the north, beating New Mexico 32-31. Join us for our next telecast. It will be Thursday, the 22nd of September, when your New Mexico State volleyball team faces off against WAC opponent Seattle. Match coverage starts at 7 p.m. Check your local listings for channels in your area. Tonight's broadcast was a co-production of students and staff at New Mexico State University. On behalf of the incredibly talented students and our crew, and my broadcast partner Danny New, I'm Jeff Symbieta. Thanks for joining us tonight. The telecast of New Mexico State Athletics, is brought to you and copyrighted by the Regents of New Mexico State University. Again, the final score, the Aggies beat the Lobos 32-31. Good night.